Hmm. Hmm. Starting a little early, but that's okay. Got myself a new splash image. It looks a lot like the previous splash image. I get to press my hotkey I made when we move to the next stage. Then we're going to test to make sure it's actually, transmitting sound properly. How to do these things? We're not doing it as strictly a test stream. That's good progress. Compared to what, just blasting out of your iPad? Maker. What mischief have you gotten up? Maker, strictly no. I don't think psychiatrist appointments count as mischief. Um, Depends what you did in there, but by itself, no. You could get up to mischief, though. Sure. Got myself a little banner screen like this, too. Hello. Hello, Starhindo. Nice to see you along. Pro Vicious and Pro Mischief. Or just Pro Mischief. That's good. There's self-serving mischief which may need to be encouraged in some people when the thing's like, so I appreciate that. Yeah. Fancy? Yeah, it's easy to be a little bit fancier when you steal the graphic from. Good work, Hendo. Thank you very much. Now you can vote too when we get up to some sort of weird decision. When you steal the graphic from Obsidian, it's actually pretty easy to look more organized. I think if we have a moment to chat like this before we start, I can put up some content warning. I'm sure I've forgotten something too. So if you have any ideas on what I should fix, give me a poke. I'll put it in that list. It's pretty easy. And we can update it whenever we're doing a different game. Well, I think you're allowed to let power go to your head in a fictional setting, right? We can remember that these people don't actually exist and then be a little rude to them at times. Maybe some reinforcement is something we need. Say, hey, it's just a little. Oh, it's not too bad. I hope everyone's having a good Monday. I may have overreacted a little bit with ACT's hey, wear masks in public when you are, and if you can work from home, do so. And the press conference that was essentially, as soon as we find someone who has community transmission, we're locking down, so be ready. Repeating, good to see you. So I've been at home all day. It's not bad. It was actually pretty enjoyable until I had a weird, like, like a weird allergy attack that happens to me occasionally. It's not super bad. It just meant I was sneezing and sneezing. And then I lost an hours of time, working time, just so I could sneeze constantly. I had a meeting I was supposed to be in. So, good and bad, really. Thanks, Luxy. It's, yeah. The waking up at 8:45 so I can go to work at 9, that's pretty good. I have no issue with that. That part of working from home is fantastic. Given I'm mostly nocturnal anyway, having a later start in the morning is really, well, it makes me more awake. But I took a strong antihistamine, like a Phenogen, to stop the sneezing, and it's hit me, and now I'm a little bit sleepier than normal. Oof. Sorry, Baker. I swear I'm not bragging. It's not much fun. Though, given you said there wasn't too much mischief, you probably made it, and that's a plus. Like that feeling of I have an appointment sometime during the day, so I'm going to think about it the whole day and then get nothing else done beside that until it's over and done with. It's like it feels like overcompensating for having something important to do, and boy does that suck. Oh, good. Hmm. I hate having to sleep. I'd straight up give away sleeping. I don't want to. I don't want no one to not sleep because a lot of people enjoy it, but I way hate sleep. I don't care if I like. Well, someone. I was thinking about it. Like wizards, terrible wish, corrupted wish, right? In stand D&D setting, someone's like, you are allowed to not sleep, but you can't speak to anyone in person, and you're not allowed to leave the house. I'd still take that deal immediately. 8 hours of sleep deal? Oh my god, yeah. Wasted time. Exactly, Hendo. And the worst part is, they take it from you. And if you just don't give in and not sleep, you feel bad. You can't actually recover that time. It's a waste. And it's mean. Yeah. Take a. Don't remember your dreams. I mean, me neither. Longer than like a minute after waking up or so. And then it's going to be a conscious effort to keep it longer than over the next hour. Hmm. Rebating, that's like too bad on the other side. Lucid dreaming appeared at the top of every like infographic information thread that for a period of like 6 months or so until I'm over the concept. Even then, it just seems like imagination with extra steps, right? Kidding. Okay, so let's play a game, huh? Glad. You get an unguarded stream deck to depress those buttons for me, but I think it's pretty easy to do it with it. So click the continue button and let's get started. Have a good Monday. Take it from someone who listens. It's sucky, yeah. Oh well. certainly not had any specific really good times in Dream before. I'm sure I could have worse. Every now and then I'll wake up with a nightmare that's bad and hits me hard, and I don't even remember. Like, I don't even remember what it was. It can still mess with my entire day. I don't remember what upset me, but I am upset, and that's enough to keep it going. Okay, so last time, just a one today, it's okay rebooting. Don't worry about it too hard. Uh, I'm glad you're here with us, and we're chatting. That's pretty important to me. Spending some time talking to one another and getting used to everything. I'm gonna head out to the main city because here's a new diagram to show out what we did. Mostly what we did last week is we wandered around a couple of maps, checked out Storm Gorge and picked up our good friend here. And we finished Woodend Plains to investigate that area as well. And wandered over the Eld1 Bridge into Copper Lane, which is, of course, the city of Defiance Bay. Hey, False! Slight echo. I think I know what's going on there. Thank you for letting me know. Nope, I don't actually know what the echo is. Turn that up a little bit, maybe that'll help. Like, False, good to see you. Stuck somewhere and have to get the cats home on the bus. Ugh. Yeah, that is worrying. That's like a conceit of that dreams do to you. They're like, this thing is extra scary, or this thing is extra important, and it's hard to deal with. There's no way to fight that. I don't like that. Oh, I know what it is. There, that should fix the echo. Thanks very much, Pulse. No, two sources, desktop and game audio. Anyway, Coles bags, are they superior to Woolworth bags? I think it's very funny that we had this large discussion about whether Coles, how plastic bags are really bad for our environment. We should stop using them in the way we do. And the solution we had is, okay, make them slightly thicker, and that's it. So they are possible to be reused, which a lot of people already were. But we didn't stop the fact that plastic bags are still going everywhere. Anyway, then we went to Defiance Bay. Into Copper Lane. We spoke to someone on the Edelwon Bridge to get a bit more information about the dozens and what we're doing here and what the city is. We met a rabble rouser here who spent even more time talking to us about what's going on in the city and some of the political factors. That's like good. I find it interesting whenever you run in, like, walk into the first city. A lot of adventure games and tabletop games don't start in the city for traditional reasons. Maybe just wandering around. The countryside is more traditional role playing game experience, so we do that. But it's important to denote the size of the city, and the fact that it comes across several maps is a good way to do that. It also allowed us to go through, hey, to get to this city, you've got to go through one, and then potentially two, three, four, five maps to say this thing is big, and that's context for how big this place is. If you're describing a city as your players enter it, I recommend highly like reiterating how busy it is and how different it is than any of the experiences the characters hadn't come from the city. Yeah. Once we got here, we dropped into the first building, named Building Goose and Fox, which is a tavern. We picked up a quest there to go investigate Persnick's house, which is where we found like a big video gamey conceit where a bunch of NPCs were simply named Addict and didn't have any additional detail. We beat up the drug dealer, and then we had a big decision among all of us to go decide, hey, what do we tell his wife? And that was fun. After that, we went into this house here, which is unmarked, but there was a robbers who were planning to rob a house, a two-story job, learned of a plot to rob them, and they attacked us, and then, like, we killed them. Now we should probably tell someone? Lord Raymond, the person being robbed, or some of the letters AD. That's all we have. After that, it's a wander in this building, which is the Adventurers Hall, and we're back up to speed. Yeah, straw thing, right? Shifting the blame is pretty easy. As a company, and I think that sucks. Walk in, get a cutscene. Welcome, everybody. I mean, they're brandishing weapons, same way we are, so maybe they're adventurers, maybe they're just self-important jerks, who knows? Ben and Leah. A well-groomed man steps through the hall with a confident swagger, a smug grin etched on his face. He is flanked by 5 other hard-looking individuals. Behind the nimble. One of his companions eyes you for a moment before spitting chew at your feet. Another pup wandering in, I see. Just know that Bind's giant slayers run things around here and you'll be fine. Guy's name is Leah. Well, his last name's Leah. Rebooting, you must know who these are. So I think, straight up, Slam Shadows has got us. Never heard of them. Maker, you got a good point, but isn't it funny to say, can I join? Come on, they run things around here. Why shouldn't we be involved in them? That sounds like fun. Yeah, but 2. Let's go with 2. Saturn. Never heard of him. Slight narrow. You have now. Stick around Defiance Bay and you will again. Plenty of bounties to go around, but there's a reason the Giant Slayer's got a lion's share. Remember that. A voice bellows across the hall. Enough jabber, Ben! You're gonna do the job or talk about it! His jaw tightens. Waynon's right. The coin isn't gonna collect itself. He looks at his comrades and jerks his chin towards the door. See you around, pup. Slam Shadows is in charge. He's not a joiner. He's a leader, not a follower. Look at all these people who listen to what he does. The authority figures pretending they aren't. A jerk.
Hey.
Alright, Wayne, what do you got for us?
Don't stand on ceremony. State your business.
Voice person, okay. Tell me about the dozens. Wayne's expression becomes serious, the timbre of his voice deepening. Good men and women trying to walk in the footsteps of great men and women who came before us. We're a loose association of warriors and expeditionaries in the Deerwood. Not as fancy as the Crucible Knights, mind you, but at least we remember our roots. At least they remember someone else's roots and pretend to be like them, he means. Get your roots? The Crucible Knights take pride in having won the Deerwood's freedom 150 years ago, but we're the ones who predicted it. Everyone knows that the Saints' War ended with the Godhammer destroyed Waidwin at Evan Deerwood Bridge. A lot of folks don't know how Waidwin wound up on that bridge. 7 men, 5 women. They walked out of Helgot Citadel and faced down a god and held him there until the bomb went off. He thumped the table. That's the legacy we defend. Some call us mercenaries, but we don't need wretched armor and silky cloaks to remember our roles. We're the same now as we were then. We stand up for the people, first line of defense, whatever it takes. We've got new enemies now. It's not Waidwin, it's his damn legacy. It's the damn soul butchers in Brackenbury making things worse than all of us. We're the cause in the whole thing, one way or another. Well, we haven't gone anywhere, and there's a lot more than 12 of us now. We defended Deerwood once, and we'll do it again. His accent is American. Yeah, but I'm trying to do the dozens with, like, slightly Irish. I think her name was Rowan out the front, the preacher. Some he was a much heavier brogue, and Wynn's got a bit more organised. And I mean, a lot of the voices are going to default to American anyway, right? To cavalcade of nurses, none the same. Wynn casually nods your way. His eyes continue to float from mercenary to mercenary as he speaks. What else do you need? Americans don't exist in fantasy. He wants to be an American when you're playing her.
He's usually got something. You do well for him, maybe I can find you more.
You do well for him, maybe I can find you more. Or, you do well for him, maybe I can find you more. Find you more. Maybe I just can't do American. So they didn't hate the American dwarves in Dragon Age. You know, that makes sense. I don't think I play enough dwarves. Osric. Well, this guy, he could probably give us some mercenary things. Arrows for practice in the Expedition Hall only. Purchase weapons for personal use from Sold. No exceptions. Osric. Edges of these swords have been blunted for practice. Some of them scrawled Commander Cliver across his dummy in chalk. Commander Cliver being the commander of the Griswold Knights. You wouldn't appreciate that at all. If you had a ban for this target, it pocked with countless holes. Bad shots. Well, Shelves and Dragon Age were a
For the last time,
fantastic
maybe
choice.
we'd keep your fucking blade up. If that dummy was armed, it'd have your head off.
This man watches the training adventurers with the disinterested contempt of someone whose skills are wasted in this setting. He barks at one of them. The last time, Edward, keep your fucking blade up. Remember how a lot of these ones, whenever we talk to innkeepers, are like, you look at these and they'll just lead to a dialogue option? I feel like these first two will as well. Like a trade screen. Maybe not. Tell me about Expedition Hall. Is treasure hunting plain and simple? Sponsors put up money, hire adventurers to explore the wilds, looking for ruins mostly. If they come back alive, they split the spoils. If not, it's because they handle their weapons like this lot in front of them. You might as well be digging their own graves right now. Got business with me? I get a feeling Osric here would like take the opportunity to yell at the charges at his command at any time. Just because we're talking to them doesn't mean hire adventurer. Maybe more than one, but look at you. That's mean. So yeah, he's this sales dialogue again. Nothing special.
You want an expedition? Talk to Wenin. I just handle these mercenary shit shovelers. Adventurers, I mean.
Wenning clears his throat in the background, and Osric's mouth puckers. Although, he sizes you up. I do have something I need done. Something that requires that's as fun like an adventurer flailing away helplessly at a dummy. Competent. What do you need done?
I was formerly one of the Knights of the Crucible. When I left, they kept my arms and armor. The arms they can have, but the armor belonged to my family. I'd like it back.
I would absolutely hope it's not a war crime. I agree. Okay, why don't we just ask for it back?
No. They'd like that, I'm sure. But I won't be going. Sooner be torn apart by dogs than give them the satisfaction.
Okay. I understand the Crystal Knights are likely jerks, but it shouldn't be too hard to ask them, should it? No, maybe not. Okay. Doesn't sound like leaving the Crystal Knights was your choice.
You don't choose to leave knighthood. The Crucible Knights, they may not be a real knighthood, but the oaths you swear are just as true. Still, turns out that even unofficial knighthoods have politics. You cross the wrong man, suddenly all kinds of accusations are thrown your way, and nobody believes you.
Nothing more destructive than a crowd with the wrong idea. That's good. Ties back into more of his backstory. Right? Remember, Idia thought Wyvern's whole crusade was a very bad idea?
It's a breastplate. Not much to look at, and it's seen far too much use, but it's been in my family since the liberation.
I have no issue with investigating this. Right? Getting some dude's stuff back? Sure.
Then it's Penhelm you're looking for. A low snake of a man. If he was to die choking on his own black tongue, it'd be too kind of fate. He kept it when he had me kicked out.
Astrix a bit of a, like, passionate jerk at times, huh? He leads in closer. I got word from a reliable source that Penhelm visited Forge in Ondra's gift right after having soul lineage read by Cypher Dunred Row. Should you have it in your heart to find a way to ruin his life while you're there? Well, drinks on me. Having his soul lineage read?
It's a requirement to join the Knights. They have to ensure a novitiate doesn't have a subversive lineage. If Penhelm's superiors found out his affidavit was a fake, his career would be over. Every novitiate gets an affidavit from Dunreed Row, and those are stored at Crucible Keep. If you find Penhelm's, one of those ciphers could tell you if it's real.
He's changed a lot. Fuck the Crucible Knights for giving an armor that belonged to them. Yeah, also kind of fuck them for doing soul investigations for subversive lineage. What does that sound anything other than bloodline research? Which, again, kind of fucked when it's joining an organization. Especially if you're doing it just for a job. Sagani scratches the back of her neck. If generations of mystic traditions are any indication, this Penhelm probably doesn't remember it. Still, a pass like that has to count for something. Cool. We'll keep that in mind. It'll be up to you as chat to decide whether we're going to ruin someone's life as well as just getting stuff back. But we should do both. Also, Mickey, you had a good idea. This expedition hall should have a lot of the backer adventurers. Yeah. We got a couple in the corner over here. Yeah. But you could just fill them, like, no unnamed mercenaries would make sense. There's the deal. Still can't steal. We could steal from that, but we're not going to. Because
My thoughts will be as silent as my feet.
this guy just
Hail and well met.
could send him to our death. Hmm. Well, looks up from polishing a dagger. I haven't seen you before. You headed out with the expedition company? Or are you betting on one? How long have you worked at Admath's den? She leans on the countertop top and drums her finger. I love how sometimes in conversation she starts talking at you, asks a couple of questions, we go, yeah, how long have you been working here? Instead of saying, hello. I mean, cutting out that little bit of time is not a bad thing. Every now and then you could draw attention to it in dialogue when your characters are meeting a NPC. That's fun. Like, why are you guys so rough? Oh, we kill people for a living. It's terrifying. We lose social skills because of it. He leans on the countertop and drums his fingers. Oh, a few years. I'll get in a minute. The last merchant cleared out. Just towards the main area of the hall. They've got new expeditions venturing out every week, so this is a great place to do business. And the dozens make loyal friends and loyal customers so long as they stick by them. Two taps the counter. The vendor who was here before me, I ran him out when he sold his best helms to a pair of Crystal Knights. Being careful not to make the same mistake. These guys really make the Crystal Knights. Rebidding. That's a theme of the whole game, so yeah, absolutely. Themes are both intentionally layered into artworks and just become apparent after completion and review. And deliberately putting them in like that is a great way to reiterate your theme, make sure it's actually in your work when you want it to be there. Yeah, is someone responsible for your previous incarnations? What technically your soul did under certain circumstances? It's really interesting. A great question to explore, and we as a group will have to decide what that means to us. How do we feel about it? Tell me about the expeditions. They're groups of adventurers that venture into the wilderness. More than a few of them try their luck scouring the ruins. Most of them come back empty-handed, if they come back at all. Betting on them is almost as risky as actually going. That's how the expeditions get funded, and every once in a while, one of the adventuring companies will strike it big and make a fortune for their backers. Can I buy something? Nope, I'm afraid not. The Dozens only do business with me as long as I only do business with them, and they're good customers. She checks her thumb at the door. But if you get on Osric's good side, he can make an exception for you. It's probably training one of the new recruits now. And that's why we do his quest, right? Just coughing. All good. I'm taking a look at YouTube just to make sure the uploads of the videos are going fine. They sure are. So shout out to everyone in the VODs as well, because it is nice to have you along for the ride, even if you're not in person. And it does mean, like Hendo, when you get to the top of the list, you can join us live if you feel like it. And I'm really glad to have people along in that way. Now let's do some stealing, Mecha.
I'll see what I can do. The work of a moment.
We got a geological map. Cavern where molten rock flows within a deep chasm. You know, so just join whenever. Yeah, that's true. You don't have to be up to date to watch, but like, quest item. But like, it's a very story-driven game, so I don't understand if you don't want. Feel like you don't know what's going on. Ask me questions till my eyes fall out. The best thing is, get bored, or just say, "Hey, chat, can you handle this question for me?" And then you all can lie, which would be really funny. I think that works for everyone involved, doesn't it? Since the expedition hall is pretty small, right? We got a geological map, got like 3 named NPCs to talk to, and then we fuck off. Whoosh! Can't talk to this cat, which would be a shame, because usually we pick up cats and pets and just keep them. And that's fun. Let's continue doing more very video gamey roleplay things, just walk into houses and have quests appear in front of us before we leave the zone. I'm sure we'll be back at some point. Yes, please. There's an event happening in the Stronghold. You may have noticed the banner start to unfold, but we missed it. Library construction completed. Hell yeah. I also said barracks and dungeons. We want a barracks. We'll start building those now. Big city quest. Hey Gimbles, glad you're back. Hmm. Ooh.
On the hunt.
We've never gotten into Persona myself, but I know it's really good. And I hope it's really enjoyable. This painting depicts a famous scene from The Light of Dawn, in which the traveller and the ghost happen upon a starving man. Jeez, what is The Light of the Dawn? I want to watch the whole thing. It's super cool. Just knowing what is that story.
I shall be discreet.
Some stuff we just wandered in with Lundala's house. We decided we can't get any further without the actual key. The game says something will happen here at some point. That's all we get. You know? We had a recap. It's the only thing that shoveled the relevant memories out of your brain to the top of the pile. Yeah, fair enough. That's why we do it. Crystal Knights weren't always soldiers. We used to be blacksmiths. And that's why you do a recap at the beginning of like your role-playing game sessions as well. Sometimes they are a fortnight apart, more than a single week. Scrivener's Dormitory. I believe there was something to do with the Scriveners in here. Spilled tea, empty ink pots, and one detailed sketch of a fire-breathing old dwarf are all that remain of long study session.
I'll see what I can find.
Sneaking, stealing, money? Please. Who are you?
Hail, traveler.
Like Crystal Knights, Crucible is used for melting metal for casting, and you cast some weapons or armor. Are you mad? No, they're knights that are forged in the Crucible of Flames. Or something. By whales wireless space, you're one short ogre. But why are you green, and how are you getting the ducks to keep flying around you like that? What are you talking about? Your ducks, your green skin. Should I speak louder? Slower? Let me know. He beams at you and nods his head. You're a scrivener? Yes. I am a scrivener. I read books, I write books, I once ate a book, but only because it looked like sweet pie. Or perhaps it was sweet pie baked to look like a book. Interesting. I'm also a collector of herbs, flowers, plants. I sell them. Mostly I eat them. The truth comes out. Tell me about your dormitory, Corin. It's where the scriveners who work at the Hall of Revealed Mysteries sleep. I'm a scrivener. He sniffs. His place smells like old stockings. What do you have to say, man? This is a better handled drug dealer. They're just plants. They well and truly are just plants. When you're making a video game, you have space to have these plants, right? For immersion reasons. But simply, like, unless you only go to the small level of detail of just putting it there in your, like, on your buy list or a shopkeeper's inventory where your players can read it at their leisure, I feel like you're slowing down the game a little bit if you list off. They speak to a herbalist and like, yes, he has some Caragolin, some Black Swan, some Snowcap, some Ripple Sponge, some Whiteleaf, some Goldrot Chew. Even worse, if you read out the definition of all of them, right? Still, it's nice that it's there. It's better to have them than not. You just got to do it appropriately.
On the hunt.
Maybe I should feel bad about stealing from
I'll
students,
have it
but
in no time.
it's funny.
The work of a moment.
Custom Snowcap ourselves. Take some. I'm sure nothing bad will happen. The sturdy bunks are topped with thin blankets and even thinner mattresses. Oh, now I feel even worse about stealing your stuff. You must be here for Corin. He has a lot of guests all the time. See, why couldn't Pans be a drug dealer like Corin? Kind of gentle and friendly and not causing any trouble.
If secrets whisper here, I shall listen for them.
3 athletics, 120. This is a lot more useful than you imagine. You can cast rites outside of combat. A lot of other spells you can only cast in. You can use that before you try and like climb a dangerous athletics check, and then you're more likely to pass. Very useful. I don't know how Cora's little hidden his little racket from. Oh, excuse me. Someone's been snaking naughty picture books from Old Vadia into the dorm. I won't say who. That's because you're not a goddamn snitch. Ah, the Mass Effect voice Murdoch's maker. You're totally right. Wait, does the Legendary Edition not have a voice? That would be real sad. I think it's very funny because every time you click indoctrination, it said indoctrination is an insidious tactic used by, and that still voice, thankfully. That voice line is kind of stuck in my head a little bit. At least the indoctrination part. That's good. And I'm
see what I
glad.
can find.
Well, it is a good thing. I think
Your
I think
thoughts
you're totally
must run
right.
deeply indeed.
So here she's just out of sight from the scraping up. So we're gonna let her stealth pass and steal some vegetables and some milk.
Hey,
There's close your eyes and zone out until he finishes speaking. It's relaxing. You could get a supercut of it on YouTube and just listen to the whole codex as you go to sleep. You'll learn even more information that's completely useless. You can add it to my store of useless information. This week I was still reading the codex, and I finished it now. So add the novels, and I've devoured all the lore available for Pillars, which is good. Do it again, I'm sure. Who's this person complaining? Dalton. Insultingly, man paces back and forth, taking short, hobbled steps. His gaze is distant, beneath it are the dark rings of many of the restless nights. He appears to be having a conversation with someone who isn't there. And the way of thought cutting down two at a time. We shared quite a victory, you and I. Not two, right, everyone? That's mean. Who are you talking to, man? The man... Not two, exactly rebooting. The man looked up at you, startled. My, fan of flame. For just a moment, I thought I heard her. He puts a hand to his chest, catching his breath. What troubles you? Just the memories of my youth in the North Watch Rangers, trials and adventures from a lifetime ago. He shakes his head. Of late, the memory of lost battles and fallen friends has been especially. Alright, well, tell me about these memories. Let's go steal your time car and take it into a plane and make Chrono Trigger reference and Chrono Cross deeply distressing. Mako, I'm afraid we don't get the Dalton reference. Sounds like it's heartfelt and important to you, but I'm afraid I'm just not that much of a JRPG nerd. It's been nearly 60 years. We've been known throughout the Deerwood then. We thought we'd adventure together forever, collecting poppers and inspiring songs. The wrinkles around his eyes deepened. It wasn't until we faced Hellake of Thane. He was a wizard whose experiments in necromancy left a trail of bodies, some reanimated, from Solace Vale to Midwood. We tracked him down, or he tracked him as he fled towards the Valian Republics, catching him just west of the Lake of Drowned Tombs. We were fools. Seasoned as we were not prepared for his foul magic. Our numbers were nothing against his power. A wiser man would have ordered a retreat. Not me. With some curse of the gods, I was knocked out. When I awoke, my rangers, my Rowena, they were all dead. He holds empty air in his arms. A sad tale, but I must leave. Sorry, old man. Who is Rowena? My friend, my comrade in arms, and my love. We planned to adventure together until we grew old enough to settle down and enjoy our fortune. Young as we couldn't imagine anything would tear us apart, except being knocked out. I know that sounds like an old man's madness. Yep. But I hear her, a voice just over my shoulder, calling to me in my dreams. At night, I see her wandering the catacombs beneath the city, trying to escape. A what? Foolish as it sounds, I can't shake the idea that she's somehow down there, waiting for me. They've even ventured below, though damn near cost my life. He hesitates. Where half the warrior I was in my youth, I'd search every grave and rat hole. As it is, I'm struck down with this feeble body and the agonizing notion that my love is somehow down there, beyond my help. I'll search the catacombs for a sign of ruin. Chase the dream. Maker, I can't add another game to the list like that. Whoops. I really want to finish Final Fantasy 4. No, it's for 5. 5 on the list. You can spring to the old man's eyes. There's an entrance just southwest of here, on the other side of the canal. He sniffs and wipes his eyes. You truly are a gift from the gods. If there's anything you can find. Get rid of pillars? I like pillars. A voice from the past? Hell yeah, we'll do a quest. Crumpled leaves and loaves and shredded flyers float on the water. Glittering, how could you? Catacombs. Well, we've been in a lot of other places. Let's go to the catacombs, baby. Finish any game. You know, a friend, the catacomb. A friend mentioned a figure that is like 70% of games go unfinished, I think. And that makes sense, to be honest. So, you're not alone. Look at this doggo. Alright. Dead Initiate. Let's do some watch it. How do you finish Skyrim anyway? Or Fallout 4? Usually I find them like 60 hours in and then think to myself, I am not enjoying this and haven't the whole time. It's surprising. And then I pick up another one. Dead Initiate. Oh, Hendo, yeah, that feels #relatable as well. Dead Initiate. As you approach the dead man, you can feel the faint traces of his soul lingering, a stunned uncertainty holding it in place. When you near, without warning, the soul hurries towards you, as though you were a solitary light and the dank gloom of this place come to usher it away. Its essence invades your consciousness. You are in a different body now, walking deeper into the catacombs, cloaked in a dark robe with a mask pulled over your face. Colt! You're following a familiar path along the canal, heading to a room built around a statue of a figure wearing a robe much like yours. Colt! Others await, clothed in hoods and shadows. Ahead is another figure dressed like you, traveling in the same direction. You don't know his name, and that's how it's supposed to be. Out of the darkness, something monstrous grabs the other figure. You turn to flee, but you find yourself face to face with a troll. The panic pounding through your brain is interrupted by razor-edged teeth and claws. You snap yourself out of the dead man's memory. The corpse lies on the damp and grimy ground. His hood and mask are missing, and his clothes are shredded. Spaghetti draws up next to you. You alright? Looked almost like you'd lost your footing for a minute. It feels that way when a gay is seen to the Aether. Yeah, Mecca, I agree. She watches you quietly. You really are a watcher, aren't you? Once, in a great many generations, one of my people is born with the ability to speak to souls. Usually such individuals become elders, or lone set of tracks in the snow. She cocks her head. I would have thought my journey would be easier if I could see what you see. But looking at you, I'm not so sure. You would play a watcher is completely fucking clueless because it's more interesting. Yeah, I dig that interpretation. It makes sense. You've been given this additional power, it's been awakened and turned into a watcher without too much input. What if you were an idiot? Look at you, I'm not so sure. Neither am I. Believe it or not, I would have rejoiced to know that I had been picked to travel far in search of something great. But even these gifts come with a cost, don't they? Forgive me if I'm a little skeptical of your abilities before. I can't say I've met a real watcher before. Oh, don't worry about him. He just likes doing that from time to time. Seems to cheer him up, so I just let him. Once I've seen it a few times, the shock wears off. Love him. I love the angst train, I really do. Time Shadows is like a battle poet, though. He has slightly more fun with it. You suck, Matt Mercer and Matt Mercer. No way! I think your companions are allowed to gently poke fun at you when you're doing slightly weird things, right? They've proven they'll stand beside you. They've earned the ability to make a little fun, right? I run a Pillars game so I can do that. If I run a Pillars game, I'd run it in AOR, and I don't know if any of you would be watchers. We experience, at least part of that story in Pillars 1 and 2. Chatney will experience it with us. He pokes fun with his nephew. Yeah, exactly. He's standing on the front lines and taking all those hits for us. Very head-empty only books Wizard Watcher. Rebooting us, an excellent idea.
Of course.
Continue this angst train. Now, I think we are in a dungeon. We're gonna gently... Oh, there's that troll! Okay, well, we didn't have to hunt to find it, did we? Oh, those disengage accents. Very powerful. Just get that wounding shot on you. You're a tough troll, aren't you, buddy? I think it's picking up rubber bands, so when you level up and you start to get ahead, it pulls up enemies faster. Rubber banding is a term from racing games, so it means that even if you're really far ahead, your AIs will move faster as well, so that like you won't be held back. There will be a challenge throughout the fight. It auto scaled. Scaled, of course. It scaled the enemies to be slightly tougher now that we've leveled up a little bit more. There are still 6 of us. Yeah, Maker, exactly. Being a watcher sucks. Sleuthing your identity becomes someone else, but sometimes just for information and nothing else. Like, that's a bad thing. You don't want that to happen to you. I'm glad that you can experience it in a role-playing game compared to in real life or something, right? Beautiful fight, that one. Grieving Mother hits it for a strong splash and we're good to go. This isn't a break, but I'm just going to take a second. Hey everyone, wanted to say goodnight to Emma. She's heading out for a bit. No one deserves to leave and feel alone. Yeah, so like... Ooh, role-playing, not hoping, not afraid, panicked, hopeless. Yeah,
Hey.
good character archetypes to play. And take on another Blackbeard. These lesser ones not so much challenge. There's 6 of us. And we're relatively well geared. Reflex and sort of light. That's very good. Coined more of these. Tibediah Digler. I hope they didn't put anything too cliche on the gravestone. More of those Kickstarter backers. I don't like trust most groups. Yeah. Forcing it and have the player stare at you like, what are you doing? Is an awful feeling when you're role playing. Trying to have a good time. You know? I'm trying to get slightly more in character than the rest of you. Come on. Work with me here. It's fun. If they just don't go with it, you feel blocked. Bad improv.
I shall be discreet.
Oh, dungeon. A lot of games have been cancelled for me. In-person role-playing games have been cancelled for me, and
You
over the
might
last little
find this
while,
interesting.
it's getting painful. Hope you're comfortable rebooting. I got another one of those useful spirits, right? That's fantastic. Oh, and what is this? +5 accuracy to hands. Hell yeah! It's just where did they go? In the hand slot. Who could have guessed? Who needs to hit more? Honestly, I want to put it on Grieving Mother so that she is more likely to get those hits and crits, those big swings. When she misses, it's very bad. Yes, and there's a real smooth involved. Yeah, exactly. I heard a equivalent is like improving out pulling a gun. Kind of means that everyone else is blocked. The only decision they have is to react to the fake gun. That's kind of true. is like insisting you're going to go to combat and fight
You might find this
in a
interesting.
tabletop game means that everyone is essentially also going to have to fight. I think it's easier if you roleplay at the character saying, okay, well, I'm gonna go like beat the crap out of things. That's what we're gonna do now. If you make it a character decision rather than a player decision, and it means you're slightly more open to be swayed by a decent argument. And that's good. You want to be influenced by the players, otherwise it would be here, making a CRPG. There's very little chance that you will convince me not to fight, right? Fucking Furies, your god. Yeah. Well, that character definitely had merit, and it was a shame that game didn't continue. Maybe we could just do it again without the revolving players aspect. Morus! We're not spending a lot of time doing tactical fights in these, but I don't think we're missing too much. We could stay in combat. We might.
How may I
By
help?
doing that. Oh no. We left and then restarted combat. That means our friends need to move up. Well, it's Alice will just be the delicious target for these poor users.
Sure,
Come on,
after it
Tagani.
is mock.
Hey, you're not getting...
This 32 hits, give you another crit for 25 slash damage. It's really enjoyable. I think those gloves are doing a great job.
Hey,
Your obvious kiss Black Ooze, that's a different game entirely. Good though.
of course.
Quethe, Silmis, me too.
Satanic Black Ooze. A lot of Ooze dating sims going on here tonight. Viscous, foul-smelling sludge edged into the trench.
Hey,
Jimbles was a good character. Here, obviously, Kiss Black Ooze. Well, he starts by introducing himself by telling you to eat some. Then grasp the space damage. Defensive thing we can use. Ooh, there's down. Might go through that soon.
Time to see and not be.
Skellingtons! Oh, classic fantasy enemies, skeletons. They're undervalued. How spooky it is to see this inside bit is now on the outside, and there's literally nothing you can do to save them anymore. They are mindless enemies, and all they do is exist to cause trouble. So need can't use like slashing to deal with them. So our poor greatsword is not going to do much. Skellingtons and giant spiders, yeah, that's fair. Mako, that's exactly what happened. And Philly is the easiest tone to lean into as part of a
you're not getting through me.
part of a role-playing game. It's easy to lean into Philly first.
Head on.
There was that long argument about how guns leveled the floor to be dealing with wizards. You just saw that, right? Engaged in melee, shot him, and then he got hit and died. So yeah. And boy, I do love playing actually serious characters.
Oh, my head is spinning. Stand clear. I think I'm gonna vomit.
Can I stop stepping on all of the traps here? They're all.
What you suppose that bally thing is?
Oh boy. Well, remember the earlier tactic.
All right then. Not too long, but I'm slowly dying of poison.
that sound at first was Herovis throwing up, because he did say, "I've been poisoned and I think I might throw up," and then they had some splashing sounds. That's just the voice actor going to extra effort, that's for sure. Yeah, well, he has the most hit points and health, so one steps on the traps with him. A Revenant? Heligathane? Heligathane? That's the dude that we were told about being a necromantic jerk. What a surprise, he's right here. God, I love quest convenience. Imagine if we spoke to an old man on the street for like 10, 15 minutes and they said nothing useful. God. How realistic. A lone figure in tattered robes shuffles across the chamber, muttering under its breath. As you approach, the figure halts and swivels its head at you. Its haggard visage is a labyrinth of wrinkles and sores overgrown by a moss-like beard. What's this? Who disturbs Helig's work? His voice rattles and gurgles like that of a drowning man. But I like my voice more. One day you'll write Skellington, I want a date. That's not super hard. I, I don't. You don't need to do it out of spite. That's for sure. Uh, I was just exploring the catacombs. The figure aims a gnarled finger at the door. Then go, and thank your gods I'm not hungry. There's nothing else. Be on your way. Something, something. Yeah. What are those creatures behind you there? Just a few personal projects. Sorry souls stuck in their mortal shells. Their flesh is as dead as mine, though their minds are not as well maintained. They flock to me like worms, the drakes. They're not half as intelligent, but he watches one stumble into a desk. There's no for amusement. Hey, good to see you, dead man. So, what are you doing down here? I wish I could ask where'd you get the corpses, old man. Research. Art, forge, and adamancy, and necromancy. I have peace and quiet, as well as an abundant supply of subjects. Sorry, your headache? Dalton sent me to look for Rowena. He leans back and bursts into raucous laughter. His threadbare robes drift apart, revealing an amulet and a ragged wound running from chest to throat. It splatters a black, viscous fluid on the floor with every cackle. That old fool is still alive. I do hope he still doesn't bear a grudge for that incident. It was so long ago. What a dick! Every time a discussion about how necromancy is inherently evil turns up on Twitter, Reddit, social media, friend groups, whatever, the person promoting necromancy is not always evil. Is generally a massive dick, or is occasionally a massive dick, right? And they're letting their dickish tendencies fly. And I don't, I don't know why that coincidence just happens, right? It just is. The guy was like, look, you can use skeletons and zombies in a useful way. Like, you can make them do labor. And I'm like, yes, that makes sense. I like that. And before long, they're like, and so you must give up your body to necromancers when you die. Fuck, man, come on. You're gonna tear down capitalism using necromancy. At least give people the choice, right? Anyway, I am really happy with a couple of choices here. So I think it's now chat's turn. What do we want to do? Like, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? Chat, we've got one vote for 3 from Loxy. And I'm going to give us. Treat it like organ donors. Yeah, exactly. 4 was kind of interesting. I hear that, Loxy. About a minute from here, I'd say. I get the feeling we'll be able to ask a bunch of these. Oh, we got several votes in 3. Let's go. Let's do that then. Um, Only because we get 2 from Deadman. Maybe he wants to throw a spanner into the ridge. Given that he's in control of Mako's vote. Sign of trust, that is. You can do rope play in the chat if you'd like. Problem is, like really take you out of the scene to be watching this as well, right? Unless you use my sexy voice. Do you want me to use my sexy voice? I'm just like an animancer and a necromancer together. All right, I think Three's won this one. You may want to get that looked at. What, this? He points a knob thumb at the wound. That's a long story. I was one of the first animancers in the Dealwood. Practiced necromancy too, which is what put Dalton and his Northwatch Rangers on my trail. He cackles, making a wet, burbling sound. Dalton believes that Rowena is in the catacombs. He seems to restrain another bout of chuckling. Oh, could say that. If we're to retrieve my grimoire from Mordred, I'll let you in on the secret. What if I just beat the secret out of you? He smirks. You could try, but then you'll just end up dead. Mecca, no offense taken. Everyone's desire or lack of desire to do any sort of kick or play is up to them. You shouldn't feel bad about it. Now we've got a real choice, right? Are we gonna find his grimoire from some dude, or are we going to attack and find Rowena without him? This fucking deserves to die. Like, he's a dick, right? You won't end up dead. Probably won't end up with a secret. We need to save Rowena. Yeah. At least one isn't, alright, buddy, I love you. Let's go do the thing. I've turned to the side because Marvel has jumped up and is begging for attention. She's such a good dog. See? Now I'm going to pop her on her bed. At least you can say hi to the puppet first. So much sympathy for trapped ghost girls. Well, you wrote a good game with that. As a bit of a conceit. Settle, Papa. Good girl. Good girl. One vote for two from rebooting. Yeah, attack him and see if we can work it ourselves. I don't think that closes off the question just because he killed a dickbag. That's certainly true, right? We're trying to rely on the idea that the game would have multiple ways to solve this problem. One, though. We could do what we did. We could do what we did with the Animancer and Rage of Cold, where, like, we'll come back and kill them if we're not given an option to at the end of it, right? That's fun. That's worth doing. So, get your votes in. We've got one vote for two and one vote for one. So please speak your voice and we'll make a decision here, then go from there. Continue exploring the catacombs. Because, like, we've been down here, but there were also stairs down that we didn't step down. There's more to find. Another vote for one. Two votes for one vote for two at this point. I wanted to kill too much time, so like another 15 seconds from here, and I'll click the button. I would note that the game also allowed us to jump directly into a pit without like setting up a grappling hook or some other way. It essentially gave us our own enough rope to hang ourselves with, or enough rope to not enough not rope to hang ourselves. All right, let's go with one. When Animancy started gaining popularity, I came to Defiance Bay in hopes of finding a place where my research would meet with more acceptance. Worked at a Brackenberry sanitarium for a few months when I met Mordred. He spits a glob of black blood on the floor. Good experience for completing a quest step. We'd probably get the same amount for killing him as the quest progressed. Let's just say, Mordred and I didn't see eye to eye. Got so bad we're threatening to kill each other on a daily basis. Obviously that bastard made good on his threat. He runs a jagged fingernail along his oozing wound. Sank a dagger into my chest while I was sleeping, and dumped my body at the catacombs. You look good for a dead man. I preserve my mind and my memories with inquisitive magic and a few timely preparations. Looks at his running hands. Yet now my soul is anchored to this decaying husk. His claw-like hands clench into fists. Mordred stole a life from me and left me with this wrecked corpse, and it's craving. He clutches at his stomach and glances at you hungrily, but only for a second. Mordred keeps all that is precious to him in a trunk in his laboratory, just as he stole my grimoire. He offers you a key with a claw-like hand. On your way to Brackenbury Sanitarium, then. Bring me my grimoire and my revenge, and you can have your Rowena. He chokes on a burbling chuckle. Farewell, buddy. Not stealing, we just take this shit. Take the tarnished locket. Alright, cool. His scattered, feverish notes detail various animantic procedures and rites of necromancy. The grim assortment of rusty blades adorn the table. I'm pretty sure this leads here, and it is also trapped. We're gonna go in the other direction. Huh, good night, rebooted. Hope you catch up in the VOD. We'll see you there, okay? Remember to tweet or scream particular requests at me if we go in the wrong direction. Go sleep. Cross this bridge, take a look at the side, and perhaps go Temple of Wodica. Jeez. For plot reasons, we're not going there yet. You want to advance the main quest? I don't. I want to dip around and do side quests. Gotta go get, like, revenge for a dead guy, and then more revenge for another not quite dead guy. Temple of Boudica. That'd be sweet. Okay. The small Orland man appears to have pulled together some crates and scraps of cloth to make a rather sorry-looking little camp. The thick fur in his limbs is matted, and his clothing smeared with blackening grime. He looks startled as you enter, his eyes widening in alarm.
Good day to you.
Good day to you. Here's the order. Get companions, do side quests, do main quest for a bit. Yeah, I agree. Great idea. After a moment, he smiles weakly. Hello there. Wasn't expecting any visitors down in these parts. He glances around the dim room. Have you seen a woman named Rowena? He shakes his head. Sorry, but I don't know anyone by that name. I know I'm not the only one down here, however. I hear voices now and then from across the canal. Sounds like they're coming from the northwest. This guy sells stuff. Maybe? And I'm like, honestly, this leads me to believe that you're probably supposed to cross the canal, talk to this guy, and go back. But the delineation of a map with a big, like, diagonal line through the middle of it makes me think I'd want to stay on one side of that canal. It's a little weird. Anything else I can do for you? Can you tell me about these catacombs? Haven't explored too much of it, to be honest. Got lucky finding this little corner of it, but let me think. Well, the canal there, that's Grogan's canal. Grogan was the dwarf that planned the whole thing. It runs up through to Andre's gift, spills out into the sea there. Otherwise, it's just a lot of bones. There's warrens for people that couldn't afford better, but it's all flooded now. The fancy folks have their own resting places down here. Drier places. The Dukes of Deerwood are down here, actually, if you want to pay your respects. What are you doing down here? And grimaces. I've been a little down my luck lately. I haven't had anywhere to stay, so I thought I'd come down here. Nobody pucks around in the catacombs much, until you, anyway. Use your skill checks to figure it out. A sad tale, but not the whole story, I think. What are you hiding? The Orlan looks away, clearly agitated. I'm just trying to get by. There's nothing else to it. And if that isn't your lucky, there's a whole lot of catacombs out there for you to have all to yourself. If you tell me perhaps I can help, it's so nice, Lotsy. Bobson Dognut. I actually don't know who Bobson Dognut is, I'm afraid. I think that's a Dimension 20 character. 5 is good, you know? Grogan starts with the GR, much like whoever was that guy who's going to say Weird Man is keeping his waiting from. Dragon Friends. Ah, shit. Alright. Another actual play podcast we gotta get through. I know Dragon Friends is really good, though. I like 5 the most. Oh, look. And here I thought we were going to hole up here together and share stories. Ian stares at you for a moment, then thought. I'm sure you've plenty of stories to share. Many tales than mine. Why are you down here again, buddy? Oh, yeah? If you tell me, perhaps I can help. Look, we did 5. I love 5, and he's just like, okay, whatever, I'm not going to tell you shit. So we can just, alright, let's do the thing again. Let's not be a dick about it. I don't think we should threaten, but, like, if you tell me, perhaps I can tell the truth. He opens his mouth to snap something, his hands rolled into fists. But he thinks better of it. He shakes his head slowly, expression resigned. Very well. It's true. I've been hiding for the nights down here, but it isn't what you think. He ducks his head. It was an accident. It's been hard for me here in Defiance Bay. I suppose I thought if I got involved in city business, if I made the right friends, it would get easier in time. And it did. Really. I made a name for myself. A place. People like to listen to me when I talk. Well, they used to. People can get very passionate about these things. We were discussing, I think it was shipping agreements. Of all the things to fight over. But this one night, this man, he got very angry. I think maybe he's had a little too much at the inn. Aeon pauses. I guess he didn't like it all and talking back at him. Ugh, fantasy racism. I struck him. He came towards me and I hit him, and he went over like a tree. I guess he struck his head on the way down. Aeon lowers his gaze and shrugs helplessly. Turns out he was a knight. If his story checks out, he killed a racist. No crime. The Crucible Knights won't care what happened. They just want me gone. They will let me live long enough to see the rope. Please. He looks at you with a pleading expression. Just want to get out of this city. The second I can get money for passage, I won't trouble anyone again. I swear it. I'll live quietly. But you can't. Please, you can't tell them where I live. Hey, chat. Choose a dialogue response for this poor person we wandered in and interrogated until he told his shitty, poor story. What do we do with the racist? The racist killer. Sorry, the killer of racists. Oh my god. That Finogan, right? But hey, I think this would probably interact with the reputation system that Pillars has as well. So, will this decision have ramifications on our character that can come up later in the game? Not a huge decision, but not something I want to do straight off the bat. So, I'm going to give you like a minute and a bit from here, okay? We got 1 vote for 1 or 2, and 1 vote for 2. So that's 2 votes for 2, and 1 vote for 1. I like to make this easy, as clear as possible. 2 votes for 1 or 2. 4 votes in total for 2. Feels good. 300 CP is not much, remember? That's less than we spent on a library. We're rich now, we own land. We did actually collect taxes when a turn changed. Which I'm not super happy about, but, Oh, Lexi. I know that one. Okay. Well, we got a lot of votes for 2. Let's do it. Give 300 copper pieces. Here. There should be enough to buy a passage out of Defiance Bay. Even if it's fake, right? And he doesn't strictly need it, under our interpretation, we gave 300, like a small amount of money that we could spare to someone who might need it. Aeon stares at you in disbelief. But this is... His face twists as he struggles for words. I said you were a kind soul, but I wouldn't have imagined this would see me out of the city, and well away. I'm not sure I could ever thank you enough, but here, take this. I hope it's some use to you in your journey. You gain my lasting gratitude, friend. I should get ready. You gained an item, rabbit fur gloves. No, I think you're a little bit further behind on the play, so I'm going to give everyone a little bit longer to make these sort of vote decisions so that you're counted, okay? I think that's important. Fuck me if I give you less than a minute, alright everyone? So we picked up a bunch of quests and tasks here that got completed by itself. So I imagine if we had to go speak to the Crucible Knights before we came here, we'd get this quest, and then we'd get the choice. But instead we just ran into him like, oh, you need help? Yeah, we'll help you, no worries. And crit damage multiplier. Who needs to crit a lot? I think that's a good idea. Crit damage.
Hey,
Good little quest. Good little moral decision. We got benevolent 2 and honest 2, so we're doing pretty well. I kind of want to work that aggressive up by finding some people that deserve to be told off and tell them off. We wouldn't be able to carry these, so the max amount of camping supplies. Technically still working. I'm fine with that. I don't
I'm
think you have
sorry.
anything to
I
apologize
didn't mean
for.
to sneak
I just
up
want
on
to make
you.
sure that
I just-
your votes
well,
and opinions are
you
counted.
seemed
That's why you're here.
preoccupied.
Now, we rested because I want to get some of our spells back, and here we are. Aloth wakes us up and says, you just begin to stretch and soothe the aches from your body when you feel Aloth over your shoulder. He looks at it quickly when you notice him, kneading his hands in his squirming fists. I'm sorry, Sam Shadows, I didn't mean to sneak up on you. Well, you seem preoccupied. You seem preoccupied. Aloth?
Mad old watches, a Coltonaut trail. What's not to worry about? I suppose I've just noticed you acting a little, unusual lately. Talking to people who aren't there, remembering flashbacks of your previous life. I just want to make sure you're doing all right.
He seems to be wringing each bead of sweat from his fingers. He stares at the spot on the ground. Yeah, I am, Aloth.
Well, good. I should let you rest.
He looks away again.
Looks like we'll have another full day tomorrow.
What was that? Weird powers that are useful but are taking a toll. Yeah, really fascinating. That's great. I love asking that question. Like,
All right,
why
then.
did we do that? Why did Aloth reach out like that? He noticed you something going wrong, sure, but like if only we had a perception of 16, yeah, we would be able to learn more. We missed out on something.
Of course.
But without that, why did we do it? What does it mean? This wobbly little tent is barely standing. The smoldering fire is strewn with the meager remains of a recent meal. Fish bones, a molded rind of cheese, and a blackened bread crust. Like, great characterization for Aloth. I'm sure something will come up about it later, but in the meantime, like, it just adds further questions and makes us intrigued to learn more about Aloth. And boy, is that worth it.
I'll see what I can do.
He's important to
The
this.
work of a moment.
We get a lot of Adair in the Temple of Aethys. Human skeleton? Better than damn
Can't get a good shot with this.
skeleton wizards that are cause us a bit of trouble. So you're in the way. Let's get him a lay combatants
Your
up.
thoughts must flow deeper and deeper. I shall end this.
Oh! We just got bounding missiles really hard. Because of the doorway, we can't get a lot of our fighters through.
Hey,
That was very bad for us. Force Flame Shadows.
all right then.
Such a big hit. Let's go, kind of sounds like a John Mulaney bit.
Quick.
Yeah.
Seal this.
Can't get a good shot with this.
Alice just loves standing directly in the way, doesn't he? Funny because his mother is on the
Doing
front
the
line.
job.
There we go. Sounds like John Mulaney as Peter Porker is what I'm thinking.
They shall see nothing while I see much.
We had a lot of ingredients that have been added to the stash. And I feel like we could steal it. And like use them for crafting, which we can. Enchanting essentially. Like enchant this. We can make it fine just by dropping these in. And in fact, let's do it. Made his armor slightly better. I think it's worth doing. And also add extra constitution. Once we get a diamond, there's the maximum amount of enchantments you can have, 14. Otherwise you just add a bunch of these. Like, skills proof. And that's cool. It's a nice little subsystem that I never get super deep into, but it's why we pick up all these random pieces of junk. So we can use them for enchanting. Ooh. Neat maker. Very neat indeed. don't have too many spoilers for Shadowbringers, but there's a similar-ish feeling during part of the main quest of Final Fantasy XIV. Oh, dank spore.
Leave it.
So dank.
Leave it to me.
Not exactly the same, and even if it was exactly the same, we'd be better off seeing how you do it, you know? But if you got those feels and you want to get them indulged, they don't give up even for a second. Yeah, that's true.
My mind feels sharp as steel.
Or Dan just got confused.
Your thoughts must flow deep.
It's like
indeed.
D&D confusion where you roll each round to see what you will do, as opposed to you immediately turn on your companions. And I like that more. And again, as Grieving Mother frequently puppets people, our overwhelming wave tried to knock down things and got interrupts from many saying they are at status. Rough.
Let's
We also hit Itamak with that attack.
That's it.
I shall end this.
Get on!
Shed.
Gotta be careful.
Let's go.
You're not getting through me. You're not getting...
Honestly, I want to dare out here to take the Slime Shadows, and Itamak can deal a bit more damage. Alright, there we go. Slime Shadows can level up after finishing the bestiary for dank spores.
Your thoughts must. I
These
shall end
spores
this.
so dank. Yeah, level up for these other guys too. Grab them for years, we should have a time you drink. Yeah. Extra level, please. Can use level 5 scrolls now. Level 2 invocations. You can also go back and get level 1 invocations. The one you really wanted. I not 9. Yeah. The sound of his voice, the killer's grew stiff. So AoE. Paralyzed for 12 seconds. We turned to 4? Cool, paralyzed now. My son, do you see your sisters across the moor? Summon 2 Will-O-Wisp. Gurdensk slew the beast, but soon tasted skin. Summon 3 worms. Jeez, that's cool. Shatter their shackles, cast off their chains. So, decreases the duration of, defends against, hobbled, stuck, paralyzed, and petrified as an invocation. An 8-meter cone. That's pretty cool. The lover cried out to the beloved, I am yours. Charm an enemy. Do you like necromantic songs? I do. Rejoice, my comrades, 2 fingers of daylight. So, endurance, immunity to frightened and terrified. Pretty cool. Like a bit of healing on him as well. I mean, yeah. I think let's summon some Will-O-Wisp. I think that's fun. I don't need any of those. Most of our class bonuses are gone now. We don't need to do these half multi-class ideas. You could use some, get gunner and get reload speed. I think that's pretty good. We should consider that. It's extra damage, bloody photos. Yeah, extra crit chance on injured things. I think gunner. Let's get the reduced reload time. Shot on the run. Range recovery when moving. No, I don't think we need those. Let's go with gunner. That's a great idea. Level 6 Slam Shadows. Daylight was not known for being good with their hands. Yeah. Hey, Alice, you wasn't gonna get cool wizard shit? You are a mechanic. That's your choice. Okay, that, no, he's got level 3 spells now, which is a plus. What more do we want? Let's do that. Lowering speed and movement of enemies was just perfect. Brush damage, knockback if someone's close. Extra defense. Well, we don't use the defensive ability he has, right? So we gotta be careful. Don't want to waste it. Negating some of the yeah. But could also get that. Extra, a little bit of raw damage to yourself with 25% extra damage when done with wands, scepters, and rods. That's not bad, you know? Aloth can just do that. You're doing fine, Mako. Doing absolutely fine. Ability, we can go, but you deal extra this type of damage. That's not terrible. I think one of the main spells. Sloth. We love sloths. I'm gonna take Dangerous Implement. It's gonna take a little bit of raw damage with every cast, but deal 25% extra with a modal ability. We'll just leave that
How
on.
may I help?
Hell yeah!
Hey,
We got a bit of small healing happening at all times with Flame Shadow's champ, so let's just embrace that idea and try to keep Aleph off the front line. Is there a pet sloth? I don't think there is. Actually, I believe there is
That will be
in
as
the
silent as my
sequel. I'm not certain, but I think there is. I certainly like that. Ooh, certainly
What do you
like that.
suppose
Indeed.
that bally thing is?
And that ballet thing. Got ourselves a little
keep an
open.
eye out.
Should technically be stealthing and searching everywhere we go. Okay, just do a bit of investigation. Would have backed that. Love me some sloth. Red pandas are another tiny, cute animal that appear as pets more than they'd appear in any other capacity, and I like that. Very rarely is there an enemy red panda you've got to beat up and kill. Thankfully, because I wouldn't. It would be awful.
Hey,
Okay. All revealed mysteries. Let's go up here. Red panda. Some sort of delicious loaf? Hey, Dalton.
And well met.
Did you find her? I'm still searching. Sorry. I would tell you about your enemy that I am apparently doing a deal with. Don't even worry about it, man. Don't worry. This is where the scriveners like do their regular work. Ah, the red panda. Okay.
Books hold so many answers, yet you cannot merely ask them a question aloud. You must pore through the pages and hunt for knowledge yourself. I like to think of libraries as way shrines to WoW.
While being one of the divinities, and actually one that Heravius worships, instead of Galloway, even though he's a druid, he worships a divinity about learning. Welcome to the Hall of Revealed Mysteries. Okay, let's walk forward. The wind barely glances up from the tomes on the table as you approach. You're welcome to browse the stacks, but mind that you keep your voice down. This is a temple, after all, and Grimdir doesn't tolerate disorder. Who's Grimdir? Fixer speaks reverently. Why, she's the High Archivist. She's one of our most accomplished scholars alive today. Nothing goes on here without her knowing it. Almost nothing, anyway. Just scratches behind her ear. You should probably tread lightly around her today. Hey, how long have you worked here? Anything else? Tell me about yourself. She throws her broad shoulders back. I'm a scrivener and a devotee of Whale. It's my duty to look after our records and resources. Her chest swells with pride. She's either a new hire or a true devotee. Is this a temple? Looks like a library. Her eyes grow wide and round. That's because it is. Whale is the god of mysteries and answers, encryption and decryption, concealment and revelation. She raises her hands to the row of shelves. Its guidance comes from the understanding of the unknown and the protection of hidden knowledge. The Hall of Revealed Mysteries was built to celebrate that. Didn't really answer my question. She sighs and rolls her eyes. Yes, it is a library of sorts. Temples dedicated to Whale tend to hold vast stores of knowledge. We use that knowledge to unravel and preserve the mysteries of the world. Okay. Thanks. The books on these shelves cover the history and mythology of Old Vadia. Stealing to take things from the shelves? And the game... No entry into the archives without Grimdar's permission. Is this the archives? Right here? They look kind of archivey.
I'm on the trail.
No one in this room. Yeah, down affirmations. Like, that looks like a hidden door. It's a shame we can't see it. Maybe it isn't even a hidden door. I'm just imagining it. Maybe we got a stealth path. Stand behind him, right? No one can see it. Terrible. Terrible
Your
movement.
will, Watcher.
Hi?
Hey,
Yes?
Hello? What do you think? You stealthy? Let us sleep, do nothing. Sleep sucks. That's why.
Yes?
Nope. Nothing.
hey.
I'm on the trail.
Whether we could stealth, we could try and unlock that door and break our way through. Lots of priests. The symbols on the pages writhe and shift. They're dizzying to look at. Keep looking! The obscured leaves clues for those who seek. A hell of a lot of priests. Yeah, and there were more that lived in the bunkhouse nearby. Big temple.
Hail and well met.
Gribda, an elderly dwarf, surveys the stacks. Her skin looks as tough and as wrinkled as a walnut. Despite her stature, she manages to look down and nose at you. You're welcome to look around, but let the priests and scriveners continue their search. She shoots the nearest robe digger a withering glare. Wouldn't do to give them any other excuses. Jesus. Alright. What are they looking for? She sizes you up, stroking her chin. And I could trust you to bring it back, I suppose. She scowls at the rogue priest again. You certainly couldn't do worse than this lot, anyway. This is so mean. Thieves made off with an ancient scroll of Whale. They intend to blaspheme by selling that which should remain hidden, a secret of 100 visions. Her wiry eyebrows arch over her spectacles. The guards caught one of them, but were overzealous in their interrogation. What the fuck? All they could piece together was something about a farmhouse and the road to Deerford. Track the thieves down, don't care what you do with them, but bring back the scroll. Well, rewards a persistent seeker, so why? Okay. New quest. I'm actually going to give us a break a little bit early tonight, sorry, at 8:30. We will be back soon.
I shall be discreet.
As see everyone in 5 minutes at 8:35, friends. You can check out my full break screen, which looks like that. Halfway point does make it make more sense. Yeah, it's true. I believe it. Okay, back soon. Welcome back, friendos. Thanks for the patience. Glad we can all join each other once again. So, we got a new quest to go find a scroll from a place I think we've actually been and explored before, the road to Defiance Village. So we'll go out that way and pick it up and drop back.
Good day,
Won't take long.
stranger.
But I had some questions about the missing scroll. Perception 15. Casino. Use your stats. The player to put investment into an item or a build, if the character creation has shown you they want this to be useful, bring that into the story, right? Give them options. You can do this by having a passive perception skill, or like a passive insight is another good one in D&D 5th ed. 5th ed idea. Just give them a, hey, you noticed this because you're generally insightful. Seems odd that a few burglars managed to steal from a place like this. We can't get into the archives. She huffs and squares her shoulders. Some secrets Whale keeps even from me. Alright, fine. We're up to something. Tell me what you know about the thieves. They're very little, except that they were foolish to believe they could steal from the goddess' secrets. That and they were fleeing to a farmhouse. How do you want me to handle the thieves? However you can. Kill them, rob them, leave them. It makes a difference to me. I'll consider it one of Whale's mysteries. Alright. She waves a hand and smiles grimly. What's special about this scroll particularly? Whale is the god of secrets. If I told you that, I'd cheapen it, wouldn't I? She cackles. It is a parable. The kind nourishes the inquisitive mind and poisons the foolish. Alright. Tell me about yourself. I'm the High Archivist of the Hall of Revealed Mysteries. She coughs loudly to her fist. And I'm too old and too busy to be bothered with the name questions. Alright. Tell me about Whale, then? Your divinity? Her smile reveals a row of crooked teeth. That's the rub, isn't it? Whale is the god of things hidden and revealed. The more the 100 visions one sees, the more one has yet to discover. Though we often call Whale he who sees it and is not seen, it is neither male nor female. You should go with they. Come on, guys. The singular is that. Yeah, exactly, Mako. To assign any definitive characteristic to Whale is to miss another essential part of their divinity, the 100 visions. A term of reference for Whale's many revelations. Despite the name, they're infinite. Each epiphany leads to yet another enigma. And I thought I was busy. I like Whale. To have a divinity that is defined by its in opposition to itself. It's pretty cool, right? Not necessarily it's it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to do it. It's like, we can't...
Does your fox bite?
Yes,
Can I pet him anyway?
it's your hand.
I'm gonna pet him.
Amazing. Amazing NB dialogue, that one. We're going to look like we're heading towards Brackenbury, but actually leaving this way will open up the map so that we can head out. I want to get that scroll. It seems like a quick detour. Let's just go do it. Feel terrible to do it. Exactly, I wouldn't. Ada, pat the fox. Woodend Plains. They were resting in a farmhouse on the road to Deerfield Village. We can sort it out. It is amazing. Also, Whale, specifically, like, if it preferred an it pronoun, right? It's okay. But they also refer to it as he, and that's not fair. Respect divinity's pronouns. Come on. Hey, look, a farmhouse on the road to Defiance Village. Oh, hey, enemies that we're going to leave and set up our battle lines better. They start hostile as well, so there's no nuance, nothing we can do here except start a fight. So let's.
Don't you have...
He doesn't have
other
line of sight.
matters to attend?
You're flanking them. Ah, that's true. That's a good point. Maybe I should have kept that in mind. Like,
Hey.
alright, get back. They just shoot the wizard.
Hey.
Remember how they said there were two of them? Suddenly we've got multiple. Let's do a bouncing missile now. Should have our people unstealth as well as we go forward and fight. Try not to click on the ground unnecessarily. Infestation of maggots. Not a bad idea. Let's start with that. Very good start. I like that. Thinker will go down before Reaching Mother gets out there. I think Venka's a barbarian and had 0 health and wouldn't die until 1 tank, 5 range, and a fox. Quick move for that game. Yeah. Bear Wolf. Take the Grimoire. Sun Touch Mail of Fire and Wrath. Minus spell bond. Poison effect tick rate. So you're more resistant to poison and disease. That's pretty cool. Yeah, 9 is pretty good. And Sunbeams 3 times the rest. Pretty cool. I don't know if we'll keep it though. Scroll of Whale. Ancient scroll is bound with a silver thread. The broken wax seal is stamped in the shape of an eye. The scroll at first appears to be gibberish, a collection of symbols and characters with no apparent connection between them. As you study them, however, you could swear that the characters begin to move. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, they shift and crisscross and realign, and you're able to read the text. A simpleton seeks out a wise man, said to know the answer to every question. Please, says the simpleton, you have to help me. The world terrifies me. I wake each morning and I don't know why. I make choices every day and I don't know what will happen as a result. I go to sleep each night and I don't know whether it will be my last. When the simpleton finishes speaking, he notices that the wise man is weeping. The simpleton apologizes profusely and asks the wise man what he has said to upset him. The wise man shakes his head and wipes the tears from his eyes. He answers, some people have all the luck. Cute. Arquebus, two-handed gun, extremely slow. As you take the scroll, you hear a voice. You have found it. Now lose it again. Who could be speaking to us, chat? Who could this be who's congratulating us for finding something hidden and now wants us to lose it again? That defeats the purpose of finding it in the first place. No, it's the beginning of finding it again. You think this theft was an accident? The voice speaking seems to shift, as if the speaker were constantly changing age, race, and sex. My relics were never meant to stay in one place for long. They are meant to be lost and found. It is a search that gives a thing value. Take it to the Black Meadow, find the drake that faces east, and bury it beneath its skull. Jeff, you're a bit of a jerk, right? Level up some people while chat. Could they bury it for you? Maybe. Your relic was gathering dust. Oh, I'm going to increase athletics by 1 and save 3 points so that we can invent stealth again next level. Like 25% of all damage reapplied to nearby enemies. That's a fantastic opener and AoE damage. You all gods must die. Once per encounter, stun an enemy. Cool. Greater focus. 10 max focus. Good, but not terrible. What about accuracy with greatsword? You're here somewhere. There you go. Less damage strike, extra melee damage, less accuracy. That's not bad. Standard style. 15% damage, just as a thing. Less speed, more damage reduction. Bypass. Yeah. She goes down a lot, right? Maybe we should try and give her extra health. Is that possible? Cautious attack, extra deflection. Just extra deflection. Not really a thing. Weapon set. Alright. Let's take extra accuracy with a sword. That's what you're using it for.
Hey.
Alright, so now we're looking at the map. Chat, are we going to the Black Meadow and burying the scroll, or are we going back to Copper Lane? She goes down a lot, does she? Loxy, so mean. She's the mother. Which would make her a MILF, I guess. Yeah, alright, so vote. And I'm afraid we're going to need to use full words here. And I'm going to give everyone 2 minutes to decide, so our good friend Hendo can give us a vote. Are we going to bury the scroll in the dragon skull in the Black Meadow, which would be bury? Or are we taking it back to Copper Lane and giving the scroll back to the library? So, bury or give? Those are our terms that you don't have to, but it's a good idea. Maker, Eat the scroll and nap in the library. Look, we got it back to you. I don't know what you're complaining about. Decent option. Not sure we can go through it that way. Literally the perfect solution. I, again, don't agree with that. Speed movement. We don't use Crackling Bolt that much. Let's do that. And it's lost again. Actually, what an option. Let's see if we can just reach into the key items section. Right? Grab the scroll and... Oh, there's no eat button. Or burn. Well, I guess we can't eat or burn. So what do you think? Bury or give? Those are our options. I don't know what to tell you. I showed you. I mean, Wood's excited to do it too. It's just not something we can do. Best thing is, like, if players wanted to eat the scroll in a game I was running, I'd be like, alright, I guess that happens. That's what we're doing now, huh? I can't argue with it. That's what you wanted to happen. We got 1 vote for Barry, and that's the only one so far, so if you got any ideas, you better hurry up with it, right? More bird chicken. We're gonna have plenty of characters. Yeah, Slim Shadows is Nolan. Good guy. Deadman. We can't eat the. I wish we could eat the scroll. I wish there was an option. Be like, I followed Whale's mystery, and the voice in my head told me to eat it. And the voice says, no, I didn't. And you go, I'm sorry, you told me to eat it. I don't know what to say. I didn't, I swear. Thank the horse. Okay, so we've got 3 votes for eat, 1 vote for drinks, maybe only 2 votes for eat now. And only 1 vote for bury, and that's the one we can actually do. So I think we're going to go bury the scroll unless, like, several people change their vote. Also can't burn it. Now, not to make you guys feel bad, but if we burned the scroll entirely, then wasn't those 6 people sacrificed in vain? Would that make you feel bad? Barracks construction completed. Good thing we can contact the statue and tell it to build things while we're away. I think we should finish creating the dungeon. Those were our 3 votes, and I did say we'd do those in order. After that, let's increase the Bailey so we can get the Warden's Lodge. Oh, I can do that really soon as well. It's the Warden. High level bounties, extra experience. Didn't make you think his extra vote from before. Look, I trust that guy as well. So many votes for eat. This is we're gonna do this. It's happening. I wish chat. I wish we could eat the scroll, but we simply can't. The Drake skull faces west. Soil underneath it is soft and moist. Bury the scroll of whale. So you cover the ancient scroll with the last handful of soil, and you shove it directly in your mouth. The shifting voice speaks in your head once more. Well done, Wonder. That's it.
Hey,
People united. Something, something. Eat it. I wish we could. And in a tabletop role-playing game, your characters, or your players would yell "eat." I'm like, okay, just make a decision in character. And when the character's like, "I'm gonna eat it," you go, you roll with it, right? All of these people in chat yelling about things that they want to eat and can't. Like, if you could, it'd be very funny. Maker, I know you're sticking with burn, but you could roast it before you eat it, right? Notice that we had an addendum added, not quest over. I buried the scroll where Whale wished. Grimdo would want to know what happened to it. I'm not sure how she'll take it. Imagine how upset she'd be if we ate the friggin' thing. I blended it and then drank it. Whale told me to. Grimdo.
Good day, stranger.
I found the scroll, but Whale asked me to hide it again. She gives you a long, stern look. I'd call anyone else a liar with a story like that. But coming from you, honest reputation. There is a certain logic after all, and if you serve Whale, then you've served me too. She presents you with a folded section of fabric. Whale is both a keeper and a discoverer of secrets. May this hood aid you in revealing what is obscured and keep you hidden from those who wish you harm. Footpad's hood. You find a key in your palm. You are also free to visit the Elder Archive and take whatever books or scrolls you find in the open, spreading and circulating new mysteries as part of a service to obscure. Cool. Love it. Also got enough experience to level up the rest of our party. Hey, Sagani! Yeah, stealth's okay. The Greasy stealth too. You can't get extra survival just yet. Vicious companion. Extra accuracy and wounding shots can be cool. Merciless gives sneak attack, and this is just damage reduction and bypass. It's very good. This relation does make a lot of sense. Yeah, maybe. Let's look at that vicious wolfie. Vicious companion. That's my choice. Burn an 8 whale, as per Whale's instructions. Whale's not that bad, is he? He's that bad. Can't get extra survival yet. Don't need more lore, don't need mechanics at this stage. We'll save our points until the next level. When spirit shifted, deal burn, corrode, freeze, or shock damage. Just burn, absolutely. When spirit shifted, deal burn damage. Hell yeah.
hey.
Unlock with free key. Loot! What the fuck allows it to pat a little foxy friend? God, I don't know, but I hope it's coming soon. Neat. Oh, that one's stealing. Okay. Also stealing. Stealing.
Oh.
Good job, Aloth. Seer's the Pangram. Book on Adamancy? Quest item? We probably would have had to come back here. Maker, I can't kill any gods. They've already killed one, and look what happened. Waylon's legacy. It'd be even worse if it happened. Right? We killed Whale, no secrets left in the wild. Because, Waylon was like a god of rebirth, and now birds are not happening properly. Adair? Extra athletics, please. Fine, stock down. Only an additional use, not that useful. Even weapon focus, like soldier, because he is a soldier. Or I think there's a weapon and shield style. Shield deflection bonus also applies to reflex. Yeah, excellent idea, because now he'll maybe dodge some traps. Head the god's corpses into the heaven to the earth and peace upon their flesh.
Your thoughts must flow deeply indeed.
I think the downside would hit really hard, that's all. Stealthy or perception. Plus stealth, plus 1 perception. Very cool. I liked our result. But we have hit a lot of 16 perception that would do it. But let's also get the stealth bonus to our stealthy character and give her a hood. Oh, good little quest. Glad we did it. Now to Brackenbury, right? Continue our adventure in the big city. This is our next city map. Let's go. I'm excited because we're going to go to the sanitarium and we're going to look for. Does this game not have glamour? Because you replace gear pretty quickly. It's my only guess. Every RPG should have glamour. Yeah, I guess. Can't be too hard. That hard to implement, right? Sanitarium. Yeah, like they're bad in general, and this one is full of animators. Charred Barrel. There's another inn. Or a pub. Or both. Mm. Gotta stay hydrated. Planetary. That'd be so much better, right? Thristwin. The young elf is dressed in gaudy robes that he seems ready to cast off. He picks out a heavily brocaded sleeve and continually adjusts the gold chain around his neck. He looks up at you. Did he send you to run me out of town? You can tell her I'm not going anywhere without that medallion. I told Carol I wouldn't let her sell it. If that's what you're here about, then save yourself the trouble. He puffs up his chest and glances at the exit. Careful and measured way. No, it's going to be bad because it will absolutely involve animators who are doing something probably not great. What are you talking about? He relaxes. If you have to ask, and you're obviously not here to shake me down. Yeah, it's just when we walked up and said, hey man, are you just accusing us of stuff? They're the quarters in over that salty mast and Andre's gift. We've been working together for over a year now. I find a noble with more money than sense, fill him up with the liquor, and then send him her way. They have a good time, and Swell takes her fee. And a little extra. Hell yeah, get it, girl. Rubs his fingers together. 100 coppers there, a trinket here. It's a bounty for us. These lords and ladies never notice anything missing. Hell yeah, get it, girl. No harm done then. Anyway, we always split the money until about a week ago. He squeezes his lips into a tight frown. She takes the necklace off some noble. It's an Anguissan medallion, damn near priceless. That relic is sacred to my clan, but she won't part with it for any sum I could afford. He tugs at the gold chain around his neck. And if I wanted to, I can't go home without it. Sagani's brows furrow in pity. That's a hard thing. Okay, friend. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Gonna have 2 minutes from here? You let me know. What are we gonna do? Get the medallion back from Cyril, or just ask for more information, or just say, you're both a couple of cheats and you're finally getting what you deserve. Good riddance. I don't know about that. Double rest for 2 already, that's good. We'll wait for our friend Hendo and everyone to catch up. What would we like to choose? Oh, False also choosing 2, that's good. Again, my friends in the VODs, I'm glad you're here and glad you're experiencing the story. Hope at some point if we choose, like, I know you're probably devastated that we didn't choose to eat the scroll. And I sincerely hope we'll be able to eat something else very important on demand to annoy a god or 12, okay? That sounds like fun. You couldn't even yell eat at me, so feel free to tweet at prof_Jimbles on Twitter. Eat the scroll. It's gonna be a thing now, isn't it? Uh-oh. Okay, we've waited a little bit of time. Let's go with 2. Tell me more about your situation. Picks at the hem of his sleeve. What do you want to know? What do you want to know? What makes the medallion so important to you? I grew up in Glenfast with the Shattering Spear clan. We grandfathers have protected Anguissan ruins for thousands of years. It's the one duty the gods ask of us in exchange for the freedom to live as we please. Honestly, you should be able to have freedom anyway. He fidgets with an emerald ring in his pinky. But treasure hunters looted the ruins in our territory, and we left the wilds, so we dwelled in for generations. Well, but treasure hunters looted the ruins in our territory, and we left the wilds we dwelled in for generations. I fucked up that one a lot. His voice is hard. I could just not do it, but that's not going to be an option. Most of my clanmates scattered to towns around the Deerwood and probably leave on crust of bread. He looks at his embroidered robes with disgust. Restoring this medallion to the ruins would earn us the god's forgiveness. The Shattering Spear could go home. Okay. Tell me about Sarah. She's a courtesan to Salty Mouth, delivering Andra's gift. She wasn't born to much, but she's done what she has in order to escape that. He gazes at a string of amber beads around his wrist. She's a good friend. He folds his arms in trailing, wrinkled sleeves. Without her, I'd probably be leaving hand to mouth like the rest of the Shattering Spear. But this isn't about her or me. It's about the 40 people in my clan and the way of life we're held to for generations. You seem like you've done well enough for yourself. He clenches his heavily adorned hands. It was this or scraped by in the goddess like the rest of my clan. But I'd give it all for that medallion. I offered to, but it's worth more than anything I've got. And Cyril knows it. I still don't understand why you can't take your money and return to Eggland Pass. He sighs, arching his neatly plucked eyebrows. Of course I could, but that's not the point. Community isn't a place. It's a connection to history and meaning. He makes circles with his wrist. Like an anchor, defending the ruins for the gods gave us a purpose. Without that, we're adrift. Does this make any sense to you? We're duty bound to be wardens of the builders. We do not put relics and riches on a scale and weigh one versus the other. Abandoning the search for the medallion is abandoning his way of life. Okay, yes, I understand. He smiles and nods slowly. Then you know what it's like? How to care for something you can't explain. That's all I wanted to ask. Alright, everyone chose two. Good on you. I'm glad we know more about it, but what are we going to do? You're both a couple of cheats and you're finally getting what you deserve. Good riddance. Or I'll see if I can get a medallion from Cyril. Especially, it does seem like he's claimed that Cyril just knows that it's worth a lot of money. But I'm still interested enough to go speak to Cyril and ask about it. I think we're going to go with one. We should do a longer vote on it, but let's go with one. That's my opinion. You find her at the Salty Mask. Salty Mast. The only way anyone sees it these days is by paying, so you have to go through Mayor. He fidgets with his sleeve. Could you get him medallion and not give it to him? Yeah, possibly. We'll see. But whatever you do, please don't hurt her. Alright, so look, he's not an absolute bastard in my saying. Just kill her, just take it, man. It's good. Loot that grain. Understudy. And though it may splinter my soul, I will. The scripts and props belong to a production of The Most Unfortunate Tale of Favia and Barant. I will not... Damn, what's the line? I'm trying to black clean, but... Begging your pardon. Oh, it's you! It's good to see you well. We had a few rough days there, but we found a place, and they were kind enough to hire us both. Things have been wonderful. I can't tell you how much we appreciate what you've done. In Groid, in Nonfin. It's hard work for good wages. Can't complain. I don't remember, and should. Yeah. I've all tabbed. Ah, okay. Nonton is a citizen of Gilded Vale, first found in Valewood. He's came to Valewood with Pearly, a friend to hunt, who is now in a hurry to leave Valewood because his friend was eaten by a bear. Remember when we told him and his lady love as chat were like, in Groid, Nonton, we'll let you escape. We won't hold you to justice, where justice is definite death. They came here, and they're alive, and they're working hard, and they're doing okay. Good job, chat. We did the right thing. This man is dressed in neat but functional clothes. His sun-wrinkled skin and limber musculature reflect a life spent in the wilderness. Well met. What brings you to Child Barrel? Is this your place? It's my retirement. He thumps the bar. Used to be a warehouse back when Brackenbury saw more ship traffic, but it fell out of use when the area became mostly residential. I inherited it from some great uncle who'd never had any luck pawning it off to my cousin. Now it's the most popular spot in Brackenbury. The nobles come to unwind, and the kids from other districts come to mingle. He leans closer. We've got a few rough types too, but they behave in here. Besides, their coin is as good as anyone else's. I was a cart. Who are you? I was a cartographer for the Duke for decades. He rubs his knee at his double cheek. Crossed the White March half a dozen times, and mapped most of the ruins of Thayen Bog. He grins, flashing a gold tooth. A good career, but once did the younger men. When I came back to Defiance Bay for good, Clive and a few other friends and that's helped me get the rights to refurbish this place. A strong ale, quality entertainment, fresh sea breeze. What more could a man want? It's nice to have just like a little bit of backstory to your innkeepers. We don't learn anything more about this person. We don't have to. We'll sell these grimoires just a tidy 300. We'll buy other things here, or even rest up as well. Criminals get away, extra perception, extra stealth, or noble stay for extra insight and will result. Not bad. Maybe we'll come here if we feel like we're going to need that perception first. It's nice to have a little backstory to your like innkeepers. Mercer was noted. Matt Mercer of Critical Role was specifically noted as someone who, well, bandit leader down here. We'll talk about that when I finish ranting. Matt Mercer specifically mentioned that there was used to be an antagonistic sort of relationship between innkeepers and adventurers, where like we try to sell our stuff, or the adventurers like try to steal everything, or roll persuasion to say, "Hey, give me all your stock," and he put specific attention in trying to make all of the players like the innkeepers more. And those innkeeper NPCs are some of the favorite in the whole setting, so it clearly worked. And I think that's great, just as a way to add color where your players are going to interact with NPCs and make them good ones, or at least worthwhile. The proprietors collected a respectable variety of bottles from around the world, from tart Adirian reds to Adir reds to sweet summer wines and Rautai. Hey, bandit leader! Just having a little chat with my associates. Okay. Flask of the infamous Soulbird, the dead by Archipelago, nestled next to crystal clear Nessatek and Glamfellan spirits. Pale, yellow, and deep amber whiskies from the Deerwood and the Living Lands rest side by side. Stealing? Not stealing! Free meat! Cool. Wonder if this will come back to haunt us in any way. I'm glad that our NPCs that left Gilded Vale clearly didn't go through Cade Noah, because we did, and that delayed us enough to give them enough time to get here and start working. It's a good little solution. Glenfellin's got to be a Scotch. Glenfellin is probably like the same area as the Glenfartham ruins, so it's ashtrays painted with the colourful waves of the world from the style of art. So yeah, it certainly could. Enough stealth to steal from these guys. This map to deal with an Glenfarth. Yeah, Glenfarth, Glenfartham. Appears to predate the discovery of some ruins to the east, signed by the cartographer, A. Skerian. Could be the guy downstairs. I could go for a Scotch right now. Mayorwith! Mayorwith watches you through cold-rimmed eyes. She puts her hand on the hilt of her blade, shankling the jewels that hang from her wrist. We don't know each other, stranger. Best we keep it that way. What brings you to the charred barrel? Mayorwith raises an eyebrow. What's it look like? Good wine, a little peace and quiet. She flips a cup of coin with her thumb. And Skerian doesn't ask too many questions. She's so fucking full, holy shit. It doesn't seem like a local. I'm a sailor, she gives you a half smile. And a liberator of certain goods. She casually fingers a large earring. And a nice thing about the snobs here is that they're usually too polite to ask more. I'll be going, Mayorwith. You cool lady. Please don't hurt me. Maybe step on poor slime shadows just a little bit. This map charts routes through the White Marsh. So Scarrett definitely did make those maps. Turn the road, some coins, we'll take it, leave. An Ixmatal water jug fashioned from white clay. Nice place you got here, buddy. It does sound like Glenfiddich, and boy, I could definitely go for some Glenfiddich right about now. Perhaps if there's a Tuesday I'm specifically not working, I will make a cocktail or two and show it to chat. A bit amazed at how few puzzles have been able to seduce your way through. Games aren't designed specifically for me. Not all the time. Look at this. That's Adra. Remember that material that's got soul in it? serves as like a barrier towards the ocean. It's so cool. House Terminal, first floor, sanitarium, Hadra House, and the way out to Audra's Gift. Fancy magic cross. Yeah, Mayweather would love to get steps on it. Look how many background NPCs there are. They're all over the place, infecting this poor game. Not stealing. I'll take that sugar. There isn't so much a spot on these oranges. Got the gap. We could go into House Terminal, but as the Let's Player, I'm going to say let's not just yet. This woman is absorbed in a book, muttering softly as she reads.
Hello.
A woman stands in the shade of a garden, muttering to herself. She's fixated on the pages of a large and well-worn tome, seemingly oblivious to the blooming flowers and the cool, fragrant breeze. She then looks up and your shadow crosses her page. Do you mind? I'm rather busy. What are you so busy with? She snaps the book shut. I'm studying soul attachment. We all know that souls move into people at birth and out of them at death, but we still have a lot of questions about what makes them stick, so to speak. What do you mean about making them stick? She brushes a stray lock from her forehead. Souls power bodies and give their tissues life, but only when they're firmly attached. It's separation that leads to a whole spate of soul-related ailments, including the hollowball. But if we understood how to reattach souls, we could end Waveland's legacy. Maybe even conquer death. She scratches behind her ear. That's the theory, anyway. Unfortunately, I don't have all the research I need to put it in practice. What exactly do you need? Is a transcript called the Theorems of Pangram. It contains research from Pangram's experiments on detached souls. The whole of Revealed Mysteries is rumored to have a copy in the other archives. The theorems could advance my research by leaps and bounds, but Grimber, the High Archivist, worships whale, which means she has some paradoxical views on sharing and restricting knowledge. And since she's not exactly a proponent of animacy, she tends to restrict the kind of information that would be useful to me. That's a shame. She sighs, look at me, spilling my troubles. It's kind of you to listen, but I should really get back to work. Anything else? You'll never believe what I found. You... Lady of Lament, you really found it! Dead and cradles the musty tomb like a newborn. I can't believe it. It really exists. He looks back to you. Thank you so much. This will be invaluable. She almost turns to the book, but in the last moment, she remembers herself and gives you back a coin. I'm glad to help. Anything else? Tell me about yourself. I'm an animator, sanitarian. Currently I'm researching matters related to Wadeland's legacy. I'm glad you're trying to solve it. Hey, welcome home. I have some questions about the theorems of Pangram. What was the book I just handed you? Such as? Tell me about it. Pangram is an animator working in the Deerwood. He had some interesting theories about essence and some rather innovative techniques for studying it. He was able to reattach souls to bodies after death, so he wasn't able to prevent his patients from degenerating, creating undead. He was controversial, to say the least, but many are starting to realize he was merely ahead of his time. What do you mean by degenerating? Nedrin twists her hands together. Well, there seems to be a tiny problem with reattaching souls after death. The bodies will reanimate and may even retain memories and personality, but they develop hunger for flesh, living soul-infused flesh. Without it, they start to devolve, decaying mentally and physically. If the process goes too far, which it eventually does, they become mindless corpses, attacking anything that moves. We haven't figured out a way to avoid that. What if we just put a bunch of souls into a pile of meat? Good idea, Mako. And you wonder why Grimder won't share this research. Sounds like necromancy. Nonsense! Necromancy is magic. This is science. Alright, well, why doesn't Grimder lend you the book you need? The Hall of Revealed Mysteries is rather protective of its books, especially the rare ones, and Grimda in particular. She hates animacy, thinks it's dangerous. I don't see how you could run the greatest library in the Deerwood and be so averse to the spread of knowledge and research, but I've never understood these religious types. Alice scowls at the Elementor. Some knowledge is best kept under lock and key. That's all I wanted to ask. I'll leave you alone, okay? Bunch of experience. Glad we did it. Turn 9. Skulls for Mother added. This quest expires in 2 days. Skulls for Mother. Remember how rebooting says that quests will come up and you need to assign adventurers to it? Well, here's one. Duration 2 turns. So for 2 turns, people might be unavailable. Skull for Mother! Somewhere in the ruins of Ibrel's Well, a power of Pigua prey on travelers and offer up sacrifices to their mother. In the past, travelers simply knew to avoid all trails leading near the well, but in recent years, the Pigua have increased the range of their hunts. Travelers have been abducted or killed on the roads between Solid Vale and Midwood. Grandfathers are reticent to enter Ibrel's Well due to the religious significance of the ruins there. It hasn't stopped the residents of the affected towers requesting help from within the Deerwood. Well, well, well. 15% experience, I think that's 15% of a level. Father's Teeth, whatever that is, and some copper treasure. We can assign 1 adventurer to do this, and I'm going to tell Kana to do it. Kana is assigned. In 2 turns, we'll see how this goes. Now that we've got hirelings. Let's hire some people, huh? They'll just hang out. Probably not a bad thing, huh? Goldback Knight. Poof, they're expensive. Mercenary Mind Striker. It certainly is. Can't hire anyone. Oh! I mean, this is a good idea, right? We just Father's Teeth clearly going Father's Skull. He doesn't need it anymore. Skulls are for Mother. Don't be ridiculous. Yeah, that's cool. So we'll see how Kana goes in that in 2 turns. We'll give us a bell when we learn more.
Hey.
Well, we wanted to go to the sanitarium. Here we go. Give you the flavor text. These charming windows are reinforced with iron bars and a double thickness of glass. In we go. Father's teeth go in Father's skull. Father's skull is for Mother, like all skulls. That's good luck. Perfect. Best updated, a voice from the past. Remember? I've entered the sanitarium. It's given me a key to open it up. The table is set with an assortment of leaflets and booklets entitled like practical benefits of adamancy. And soul adjustment for the well-adjusted soul. Something for loot. Oh, that's that play that they are rehearsing. Playing a whole bit of a play. That's pretty cool, huh? It's essentially Romeo and Juliet, but you know, it's still good. Now someone spoke at us. Warden and adamancer from the Republic's Bancello's requested a visit. Head Warden, Aylmer, extended a formal invitation. See to it that the necessary preparations are made. Of course. If adamancer is talking to the statue. That's interesting. Find a line they were doing when you were there. Okay, I will do that. I will open that up and take a look, Lexi. Head Warden Ethlemer. A well-maintained statue of a middle-aged man presides over the room, looking down unblinking over the bustle of harried academics pestered by the hopeful desperate. A strong warmth emanates from it that you feel you could sense from across the room. There is a human soul stored beneath the stonework. You feel its attention turned towards you. It has been some time since a watcher graced these halls. His voice echoes deeply, rumbling the floor beneath you. I am envious of your natural insights, Traveler. I can only imagine how it might have helped my work in life. Skull for Skelly. A skeleton with too many heads, but still demands more. That's an enemy. A fun little enemy NPC you could throw in. Now, what is it that has brought you to my sanitarium? Head Warden here. You see, I'm curious, because remember, we have a statue, the custodian, in our keep that handles a lot of stuff for us. How do you come to be in your present state? In the statue, you mean? Well, he laughed. I was old. It seemed wrong to me. A lifetime spent in pursuit of discovery, only to lose it all in death. Somewhere, someday I would wake up in a new body, none the wiser, and pursue a different course entirely. All that experience wasted. If we are ever to unearth the principles behind our existence, it will be in spite of our condition. Of that I am quite sure. What a well-adjusted man. To live on as part of something I helped build seemed to be a better legacy than what nature had in store. And transfer itself was quite simple as our techniques grow, and for that I am grateful. Playing with souls is far easier to accept when they are not your own. I do miss being able to take an active role in the scholarly efforts here. Now and again, one of our animators will humor me and consult her as some problem, but they are a jealous breed and too often afraid to collaborate. If you are considering it yourself, I can tell you that it isn't for the easily bored. Smash statue. He's just an old man that didn't want to die and relinquish power and knowledge to the future generations, so he put his soul into a statue. It's not that weird, is it? Tell me about about the sanitarium. A history lesson. A history lesson. This is a rap letter. Most common here only concerned with the cheating death in one way or another. Like you did. Don't be too judgy, dude. Eat statue. We're an old institution as deal with ghosts. This is our 94th year. As in many cities, the growth of Defiance Bay brought with it a host of problems. One of the worst was those that burned with, shall we say, ill-favored souls came to populate our streets in droves. Thus, the sanitarium. Brackenbury was in its full fifth. It was growing, but there was all sorts of money back then. And this place owes its survival to the curiosities of the wealthy more than anything, I think. Our founding came at a time of great suspicion and animancy, much like today. So much progress had been lost to the mishaps of a few careless practitioners. But in time it was forgotten, as all things are. Since then we have been at the forefront of animancy's resurgence. We have played host to many gifted researchers and pushed the boundaries of our knowledge in ways never thought possible. Some of the first safe transferences were done here, and we pioneered work in soul purification, lineage analysis, preservation. It's really quite a list, if you'll pardon my pride. Today it's, well, I can't say it's exactly the same. There's been some push to shut us down. It comes from Deerwood's more excitable denizens, whose minds are more passionate than thoughtful, I'm afraid. People see this legacy and they see it involves something they don't understand, so it's natural for them to suspect people whose understanding exceeds theirs. It looks to them like we're hiding something. We have a representative in the palace at this very moment defending the entire science of animancy at a hearing before the Duke, absurd as it sounds. If it does not go well, it could be the end of animancy in Deerwood. I fear Ava may be swayed by all this unrest, irrational as it may be. We shall see. Looking for an animator named Mordred. Mordred. Of course, you'll find him downstairs in the first room on the right. Thanks. You move soul and consciousness alongside. This man's soul was taught under by the Biowak. And you put it into something else, and this is what you get. An eternal, weird, awful life. We also paid our hirelings. Something an animator is doing that is good. I'll read from the beginning. This man's soul was taught asunder by a Biowak. As you can see, the patient is unresponsive, common of soul trauma. The animator places a small stone upon the patient's forehead. A portion of the soul was recovered near his body. We use the stone as a vessel to transfer. Can you hear me, Oswin? The patient's eyes open slowly before a panicked, wild expression washes over him. Unfortunately, the extended dissociation has permanent side effects. The patient becomes more agitated, grunting and moaning as he tugs at his bonds. With further research, we're confident we'll be able to rehabilitate patients like Oswin. At least that one animator is trying to restore us all, torn asunder by a natural phenomena of the world. What your soul may be trying to tell you. That sounds like a self-help book. Let's steal these books. Ooh, midwife's midwife. Where the fetish charms of the cloud singer, the bird I dreamt my mother became. Grieving mother, take this book.
Hey,
What were we doing? I believe there was a thing I promised to do. Particular play. Oh, we've got 3 copies of it. Fabia. I think she was at those lines. Bernat, Bernat, my love, what have you done to me? What was it I said? What was it I did? Has our love soured in your heart?
of course.
I don't even feel like reading out the whole play, as fun as that might be. Another time. It looks like the field sketch has been within ruins and artifacts. This painting of a rolling forest glen is a strangely soothing effect. Eternal life in a stone body. Terrifying. Be able to feel anything, no thanks. I would like that soothing painting. You could be doing the painting, that could be soothing. First on the right, I think he said. Modred! Hey, buddy! Ah, so, the quick save button, F5, is also the we're going on break button, so I'm gonna have to mess with that. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, so that's
Keeping an
stealing.
eye out.
Some money, a book, we don't need that. Hey, Modred. Necromancer scribbles feverishly an apartment scroll while his free hand dances through the air, counting off unseen objects. His lips move in silent discourse. As the shadow falls over his scroll, he looks up at you with mingled perplexity and irritation.
How do you do?
How do you do? Can I help you? He was a polite smile. What are you working on? My area of preference is wicks. More specifically, how to cure them. What's a wick? We know. Our friends in the chat, because they read it out in the bistro. But if you didn't... Oh, I'm sorry, Lexi. Poor internet trouble. A hollowborn who received a transplanted animal soul during infancy. One of Adamancy's early efforts to secure a legacy, if not a successful one. He removes his spectacles and wipes his brow. They show signs of developmental abnormalities throughout their childhood, but when they reach adolescence, they become aggressive. Feral, but still victims in need of care. Transplanting animal souls into children seems like an odd solution. We animators were trying to do something about the crisis, better than letting it swallow a generation of children. He stares at a fixed point on the far wall, and despite the controversy, it only went so far because at first it seemed to work. People called it salivation. Children that had never been responsive to any kind of stimuli suddenly seemed aware of their surroundings, of their families. He takes a slow breath. The complications don't begin until puberty, but that's when the incompatibilities between the body and soul take shape. Children become violent, ravenous. We paid dearly for our mistake, I promise you. Angry mobs hunted down animatsers and burned down their homes, with them still inside, often as not. The grieving mother recoils. A grotesque manipulation, a desperate solution for a desperate problem, and the parents were heartbroken, betrayed. She closes her eyes and seems to recede from me for a moment. But it was important to try something, was it not? To bring hope, even for a little while? She falls silent. People took to calling it the cruel salvation, and many still loathe us for it. But we wanted to stop the legacy as much as anyone. The public begged for our help, and we did the best we could. I still don't know if that absolves us. Why do you study Wicks? He huffs. What? What kind of a question is that? Just think of all the families that could be healed and all the lives that could be restored. What could be more important? His face is reddened and he turns away from me for a moment. He shakes his head, and I don't see his answer him. I know it. It's simply a matter of working it out. The grieving mother reaches out as if to put a hand on Murder's cheek. Such pain, Watcher, and such determination. I see. Good. He looks eager to return to his work. Does the name Helig mean anything to you? Murder starts. Helig? I mean, a colleague of mine. He was primarily a necromancer, but he was involved in elemancy too. He worked at the sanitarium for several years. I didn't say anyone here has heard of him. Clears his throat. He left his post recently. He believed he was seeking new opportunities in the Valian republics. He leans forward. The advances they're making in animancy are really quite remarkable. That's all you've heard. He coughs again. Perhaps you haven't. Do you know a woman named Rowena? No, I don't get out of the sanitarium much. Foxy! Not telling! Sorry. You're gonna have to play to find out, or read to find out, as Brandon Sanderson says all the time. Alright, so we got a chest here, and we got this guy. Chat! Confront, or go through the chest. So, please vote. You have 2 minutes or so. Confront or chest. Make a decision on which way we're going forward on this one. And if we hate the outcome... Hey, Lexi, I see you. I'm not telling you whether the grieving mother's guilt is confront or chest. 1 vote for confront. Challenge the boy. I like watching chat. Go through chest first and then confront? That's a vote for chest, Luxie. You know it. 2 votes for confront, essentially 1 vote for chest. There's a sweet drink done. Now we're down to water. We have to do only 1, then confront. If we don't like the outcome of what happens when we choose it, we will load that quick save I made as we walked in, go to the dialogue choices again, and then do 1. Oh, lots of votes for confront. Let's do it. Sorry. My bad.
Greetings.
Okay. Pat Helig. He smooths his robes. As I said, he no longer works here. Isn't it nice that a game recognizes that you had asked something before and this is different? That's good. It makes him feel slightly more alive and you're interacting more than just the dialogue tree. I've heard it differently. He slides his spectacles down his nose. Just what are you insinuating? If this is your idea of a joke, I assure you it's in very poor taste. Helig wasn't joking, and neither am I. But, remember, Sam Jonas is a snarky git, I'm gonna go with, so you didn't take a blade into his chest and dump him in the catacombs. He'll be relieved to hear it. Mildred pales. How could... He sighs and runs a hand over his hair. Very well. Yes, I killed him. I killed that beast because nobody else had the spine for it. We wanted to kill him too. He was a madman. Years of perverse experiments, twisting healthy souls, torturing damaged souls, and for what? He played the essence from grandfather and indigence for his amusement. He waves down the hall. If the public had known half of his deeds, they would have razed this place to the ground. The greatest motivation, but sure. He jabs his finger on the desk. He used the sanitarium to disguise his own sick proclivities. He brought shame on all of us and put the entire discipline at risk. I regret nothing. He calms down and sizes you up. Anyway, now you know the whole grisly story. Hardly brave, stabbing a man in his chest. Stabbing a man in his sleep. I think let's just straight up tell him. Helig's soul returned to his corpse through sinister magic. He wants revenge. No doubt. He spreads his hands wide. But now you understand why I killed him. Why someone had to. If he sent you, I only hope I can give him to return and slay him once and for all. Here's something I need. You consider a deal with that monster? He puts his head in his hand. If what I've told you hasn't swayed you, I doubt anything will. I must return to my work. I wish you well.
Gods keep you.
About Helig, also just want to ask, you said about the... You said you saw Grimoire? Mordred's brow furrows. His Grimoire? What's that man telling you? Give him the key. You said to keep it in that trunk over there. Mordred takes the key with a trembling hand, eyes darting to the trunk behind you. You've been misled. There's no Grimoire here, and Helig never intended you to find one. That wretched thing has an insatiable hunger for blood. Thank you for denying him. I hope I can convince you now to return and slay him once and for all. I'll finish him. I'm glad someone finally will. I wish you well. That thing has an insatiable hunger for blood, he said. Let's examine this trunk more closely. Nothing grabbed your attention except for the large padlock on the front. Whenever the animator keeps in here, he does not want anyone else to have or see. Open the trunk! A heavy lock holds the trunk shut. It's too sturdy to break, and the mechanism looks too complicated. You'll need to find the key. Save a new save file called What's in the Trunk. Load our quick save. The sanitarium. Is it a mimic? Why would a mimic chest be locked? Screw you, Mordred. Unlock it. You take the key you acquired from Helig and place it in the lock. It fits perfectly and turns with a solid clunk. The trunk holds no grimoires or treasures. Instead, you find yourself staring into the feral gaze and toothy more of a twisted, monstrous creature. Its humanoid form has been overwhelmed by bony angles and terrible claws. With a start, you recognize the vague shape of a young girl beneath elongated, malformed bones and greyish skin. It growls and leaps from the trunk, not towards you, but towards Mordred. Mordred has no time to scream before his throat is torn out. Nine copper pence. I wanted to show you what happens if we just do it. Because, yeah, Marvel chose poorly. The guy who sent us here to do that is a jerk. Voice from the past. Kill Helig a thing. Alright.
Well met, Fred.
Bad Helig. Never mind. I don't want to explore the rest of the sanitarium at this stage. Let's go kill Helig, everyone. Let's do it. I think that's a neat little story. I think it's... Guess there's nothing in the trunk. It's kind of funny. There's a poor girl's corpse trapped in a chest in the pit who can't destroy it with exiting Mordred. Yeah, right? That guy is also studying Wicks, so maybe it's Mordred's, like, it's a corpse he uses for experiments to try and fix it. That's a decent question,
Before I
right?
knew it, the Stelgar was on top of me, and I was face down in the dirt.
Arrow to the throat. That stops him.
What? No! I was spirit shifted, and she was in heat, so I aimed for the throat, but not with an arrow.
Horny little guy. I think the wick in the chest is there for research. I think it's not Mordred's wick. How long has what's it been in the clones? Yeah, decent question. He said recently he left the Alien Republic for research, so presumably not for an incredibly long time. It's Helig's. Helig owns. Helig knew it was there, sure, but how long has he been, has Mordred been researching Wick? A while, right? He seems to be pretty passionate about solving that problem. Children can't open it without dying. Yeah, that's true. Except if he's slightly more prepared and he notices what is happening before it opens up. It's a possibility. We don't know, and I really wish we did. Your early comments, especially Mako and Lexi, you said, like, we want to confront him, like, hey, what's with the wick in the chest, dude? And I wish we could ask that question. And he took the key from us, in a way. It's like, okay, so now we can't open it anymore. Alright, Helig. You gigantic ass. Did you find my grimoire? I spoke to Modred. He doesn't have your grimoire. Helig lets out a bubbling hiss of frustration. There's not much fun in a joke if you have to explain it, is there? Wait, no, we had a different voice for him. Did you find my grimoire? Helig lets out a bubble. I spoke to Modred. He doesn't have your grimoire. There's not much fun in a little joke if I have to explain it, is there? Our aesthetical view of all people can appreciate a little jape. A little joke that involves throwing a murderous corpse at someone. He tucks out a few hairs out of his beard. If you can't fulfill my needs of vengeance, then you'll have to serve another purpose. A dried and swiveled tongue darts in his back. I'm afraid a fierce hunger was awakened along with me. Well, if that's how we're going to do it, that's how we're going to do it. That's a smallish AoE for the slow. We can't cast it yet. Let's open up with one of those. Now you deal 5 damage into Spirit Shifter now, so let's just jump straight into that. And let's watch that happen, huh? Mark and pray over our classes, he'll go down fast. Open up, and you can't cast if you're knocked down. I think I want you to move over and deal some damage. Cat flurry attack. Once more rest. Oh, he's down already. Jeez. 41 crit splash damage on that. Hero Verse is half out of hell. There we go. Get us over to drama combat music. I agree. Isn't that good? He deserved it. Soulwood Amulet. Will 5. Strange aura. As you hold the gem, you think you hear a woman's voice. What could that be? Hell, come on. Maybe you got some cool spells. Let's take it. Slab Shadows. Soul prowls within the bloodstone like a caged tailcow. It's filled with a fierce, restless energy. Who are you? You see an image in your mind of a woman in heavy leather armor bearing twin daggers. Next to her is a man, young and handsome, who was their Rowena. The vision shifts to a windswept plain next to a lake. 50 men and women in matching leathers lay dead, their bodies contorted and deformed by some sinister sorcery. Rowena falls among them, her body collapsing next to the young man you saw earlier. She's too weak to speak, but the name Dalton appears in your mind. A lone figure strides across the battlefield, barely bothering to step over the corpses. His eyes are filled with an unnatural light and fixed Rowena. He reaches out to her, and what little life remained in her body departs. When he takes the amulet from her neck, you feel her anguished soul trapped within it. With a final contemptuous glance at the fallen Dalton, the man departs. Dalton sent me to find you. The soul pulses with warmth. It fills your mind with memories of a young man who's both bold and generous. But fury and despair gnaw those images away until all you can feel are a cold, crimson wall pressing against you and something loathsome feeding off of you as the years fade into decades. What do you want? You see an image, the amulet shattering and the soul inside rising and dissipating among the stars. Over.
Hey.
Return to Dalton. Let's do it. Now that we walk past the traps, I can just say, go all the way back up to the exit. Let's go. Let Dalton do the smash, says Lexi. Not a bad idea, right? We'll certainly tell him. There's no reason to just be like, yeah, we may have found out some more information. Okay, bye. And then leave. Mean. We wouldn't do that. We're not that kind of meanie. I like that we didn't fall for the trick, right? His idea of a jape or trick is to release a killer monster. To get revenge on the person that stabbed you in the chest. while you slept. I mean, yeah, not nice. Don't staple people in the chest while they're sleeping, okay? If I were to take a step, I'm on an anti-stab people in the chest while they're sleeping step. But in the end, you are a bit of a jerk, and you may have been asking for it. Hey, Dalton.
Good day to you.
Holy shit, +5 will for that? You're an asshole. Oh, hey, we found your girlfriend's soul in a shiny rock and smashed the rock. Says, hey, say bye-bye to your girlfriend's soul. You can do the setting free. Yeah, it's much better to be like, Jesus fucking Christ. It's the most evil thing you can do in a plot that involved dueling animancers and stabbing people in the chest while they're asleep and using a teenage girl's body inhabited by an animal spirit and turned ravenously hungry. Uh, just being like, hey, yeah, shiny thing? I'm gonna keep it. Thanks, lol. It's the most evil thing. Uh, I was going to ask for a vote. We've got a couple of votes for one. I'm going to give everyone a minute to follow up on this one, okay? Because we've got like 14 minutes until we finish it. So, I can tell the writer is just like, I'm going to type this in, and if anyone clicks it, I'm going to regret it, but I am laughing as I type this exact option. So good. Alright, did you find her? Yes, but not as you expected. The old man studies amulet. Rowena used to wear this. Where did you get it? Even now he feels the soul of his beloved, recognizes the spirit that haunts his memories, his dream. He would happily drown in them. Yeah, what kind of fate is it for his beloved, trapped between lives, for his comfort? Oh, grieving mother, that's a good thing to say. He would happily drown in memories, but she would suffer. Here's another choice, Cat. 1 minute, go. One or two. Specifically, what are we going to say? I'm going to say, he trapped us all inside it, here you go, hand it over. While the text explicitly doesn't say after one, and also, by the way, you should probably smash it, I think we can infer from the way the game is framing the decision in the questions that if we choose one, we're not going to tell him that the soul also wants to be freed. Okay? Infer it's not perfect, but something we know. Got a few votes for two, and I think that's pretty important. I'm looking at 3 votes. Finders keepers. I'm keeping the sweet amulet. I want to go back and say, my lol. Alright, it's time to set her free, Helig. I'm gonna go straight up with 2. We chose to not keep it. The intellect is good, but I think resolve is a more flame shadows thing here. We say, perhaps she found you now so that you could finally say goodbye. No, please. I've been searching for so long. Just to have her close to me, to visit her in my dreams, that would be enough. Dalton's expression withers. You're right. Please, let me do it. He draws a club with a trembling hand and crushes the amulet. As the gem cracks, you feel essence rush from it. The old man looks at the shattered gemstone. Thank you for showing me reason. Perhaps she'll wait for me in the next life. He looks at his hands, thinking, by the flame, she won't have to wait long. Please, take this. He hands you a club. It's from my own adventuring days. I think it's time I finally let them go. Big chunk of experience, moderate reputation with Defiance Bay, and we gained a magic club. Unique club, one-handed. Extra damage against prone, stunned, and flanked people. Fine, got a bit of extra accuracy. That's good. I don't think anyone specifically uses clubs, but we'll keep it. Thanks, buddy. It's pretty good, I'd say. Taxes collected. All earnings were lost to bandits. Bloody bandits. Oh well. Dungeons construction completed. Kana is still working on this quest. 1 turn remaining. Well. Let's get the Warden's Lodge and we'll get survival bonus when we rest at home. Yeah. Good job, everybody. 2 4 Flame Shadows. Exactly. I love Flame Shadow. Who's more resolveful than intelligent, because intelligence is overrated. I say it's a local idiot. Good job, everybody. Good job, chat. Just unlocking most of the map as we wander around for a little bit. We should probably head back to Brackenberry to continue investigating everyone nearby. Because, we like to finish maps before we move on. Brush the Horcrux. Look at this place, though. Isn't that gorgeous? Temple of Wodica. Yes, Loxy? Should have eaten it. Oh, you'll pay for that. Oh my god. A Valiant diplomat. Being assigned to the embassy in Defiance Bay is an immense honor. Great.
This was once hallowed ground for Wodica's faithful. I wonder how long it's been abandoned.
Remember how we needed to go to First Fires in the Temple of Wodica? Praise to the
exiled queen.
Alright.
May her crown be restored and her justice prevail. Come to pay your respects to the queen that was.
A ghost hovers in the middle of the ruin reciting blessings and prayers. Even as the spirit's form shifts and swirls, it retains the face of an elderly man and robes that mark wealth and status. It turns to you. Who are you?
Lord Ardwellen Rugford III, and pleased to make your acquaintance. I came to the Deerwood on one of the first ships from Adia, and unlike the yokels and hut dwellers around here, I still keep to the old ways.
His cloudy eyes swim with resentment. It's truly a pity to see what the locals have done to Wodica's house of worship. I was told I'd find the Temple of Wodica here.
And so you did. These savage colonists may have burned it down, but worship of the Oathbinder is alive and well. These stairs lead to the main sanctum.
What stairs?
These stairs, of course.
Because
the sanctum was always below ground, adjacent to the catacombs, so it wasn't destroyed by the fires.
The ghost gestures to an impassable pile of rubble. Like the rest of the ruin, it seems to have remained untouched for over a century. Tell me where I'd find an entrance to these catacombs.
There are various entrances throughout Defiance Bay, but I dare say the easiest to reach is in Copper Lane. I haven't been to that part of town in ages, but as I recall, it's somewhere near the southern gate.
What are you doing?
Worshipping Wodica, the exiled queen and Oathbinder. I come every day to offer my devotion. I'd love nothing more than to book passage back to Adia, but it is my Emperor's wish that I serve in these barbaric lands. And so I do.
I'd like to know more about Wodica.
A queen among the gods. She oversees laws and oaths. Everything has a rightful place, and Wodica watches over them all.
The ghost's hazy features sharpen with delight.
Of course, not everyone accepts this. Even among the other gods, her authority is questioned. But Wudaka is also goddess of memory and vengeance, and she remembers. She'll remember every slight and trespass when she reclaims her throne.
The ghost's expression churns. Slowly, the ghost nods. You know that you're a ghost, right?
I beg your pardon? Is this some sort of joke where you come from?
I'm serious. You should just look at yourself.
A madhouse. That's what this town really needs.
Well, good news for you, Ghosty. We've got one. It's full of adamanters. Don't want it. Input a command. Weeds grow thick and full, untroubled by the passage of death. So, what an interesting little thing to discover, huh? The Temple of Wodica is ruined. Can't get extra information here. But you may be able to get to the catacombs underneath. And where would you get that from? Other than Copper Lane? Which is, you know, somewhere we've walked past already where there were stairs down and people wearing a hood and a robe. A mask and a robe going downstairs. As someone who likes to explore maps fully before we move on, I find it odd that this plot hook, the next step is here, right? If you do exactly what you're told and run here immediately and don't do any side quests, then you'd get where to go from here, right? That's interesting. But now to us it really feels like we wandered over and we learned shit we already knew and then left. Well, we'll do what we can. Let's get to the end of the child barrel tonight. Tana also completed the quest. So that's the text we had earlier. And then, Kana explored the ruins of Ibril's Well extensively and found a wide array of dangers in the ancient city's crumbling homes and palaces. Though the Penguin had always been hostile to outsiders, Kana was able to speak with them and realize that they were being mentally controlled by someone else. The source of the increased attacks was an Orlan cipher who had been disowned by her father and subsequently banished from the twice-split arrow. Especially skilled at mental domination, the cipher was using the Pigwa, her children, to make a small fortune on unlucky travellers. However, once Kana drew her out into the open, the overconfident cipher was quickly defeated. In the cipher's lair near the heart of Ibril's Well, Kana discovered a grisly treasure, a necklace the Pigwa had formed from the teeth of the Orlan's murdered father. 524 experience, some money, father's teeth. Grants rot skulls. Summon a weapon, rot skull. Wand, two-handed. Deals a decent amount of crush damage and a faux AoE of a lot of damage over 10 seconds. Tooth necklace that you can use 3 times, I think. Yeah, 4 times to get a very damaging weapon. Last. Interesting. Grizzly necklace. Congrats, everyone. Tooth necklace. No events pending. Go investigate these areas as well. But I actually think we'll leave it here because it's 2 minutes to 10 o'clock and we've nearly had us 3 hours of stream. And I must say, it's been a lot of fun to have everyone nearby, so thank you very much for joining us. I think what we'll do, just so we don't forget where we are, we should finish exploring the sanitary of Brackenberry. I just wanted to do that last thing and speak to the ghost before we finish tonight. To get a bit of a refresher on what we're doing in the main quest. Going to find the Temple of Wodica to get a bit more information about the leaden key. Okay? We'll do that next. In the meantime, thank you very much for joining. By the cider. I'll have to get more then, won't I? Get back to our chatting. Well, that was fun. What a good session tonight. Thank you very much for joining me, everybody. It really was really good fun to continue investigating Pillars of Eternity. Especially, like, not just because of it, but especially when we're doing some side quests, right? Getting more enmeshed in the world, investigating what it means to these people, what it's like living in this place. We had some really good chats and some good votes as well. Plus, we've now got a running joke that if there's a magical item of some quest importance, so we're just going to straight up eat it, and that's going to be fun. So now that we've got a meme about eating magic items, we should keep that going. Mako, I feel like if you hate so much in this world, why do you want to play it? Well, because you want to improve it slightly through effort, right? If I was GMing the whole thing, I would do a terrible job of making the whole place feel bad. I would spend a lot of time trying to like soften the rough edges because I just do that as a GM. Some people have played in one shot or more of mine. And that happens all the time where I try and set up a bad or meanish scenario and then I lose my piece and it turns out to be pretty sweet. Oops, it's just my style. The game won't let you improve the way you want. Well, no, it really wants you to like grind out and work for those. Remember, some small improvements were made. Notson killed his friend via a bear, and we let him get a bit of justice for that poor abused partner. And they're doing a hard work but a better life where they are, and they're out of Gilded Vale. That's an improvement. We should be proud of those decisions. Chat should be very proud of the effort you put in. Because you did great. Well, thanks, Kibble. I'm really glad. And so this time of night, I'd say sleep well and stay safe. Wear a mask when you're outside because it's dangerous out there, man. And thank you very much for joining me, whether live or in the VODs. Your presence in the stream makes it really worthwhile and worth doing. So thank you so much for it. And I'll see you next week at the same time. Remember to let your friends know when we're going up and when we're going live and where to get the replays on YouTube. And the information can be gathered from the Twitch channel. And I'll see you again next week at the same time. Thank you very much once more. Night.